They are that bloody good, Phil Hurton. Oh, Harry Prosser gets dropped! The excitement is building, the crowd is here.
Oh, why not, mate?
Well, g'day footy fans and welcome to Payneham Oval for round 11 in the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 season. We're still in June, but is the grand final already set? Can anyone catch or match the runaway top two? Well, today, a team in the 5 gets their shot. A chance at home to cause an upset. We'll find out if they're contenders or pretenders. Never in doubt, our filming footy sponsors. We'd like to thank New Balance, Belgravia Apparel, Archie's Footwear, Nearmouth Mouthguards, Hahn, Sportal, Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish Footy Stats, and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Coming up, it's Payneham Norwood Union and Sacred Heart Old Collegians. In rather interesting playing conditions. Thanks to filming footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League. Yes, welcome everyone, Payneham Oval on a rather crisp and cold Saturday afternoon. Phil Hurton and Adam Jeffries. And Adam, we definitely know we're in winter now.
It's not quite as cold as Brighton a fortnight ago, Phil. I had 2 weeks off work after that game, but I'm back today. There's a little bit of weather around. The Oval's in pretty good condition though, so we should still get a decent game of footy.
Interesting battle. Payneham Norwood Union sitting, just shy of 500 at the on 500 at the moment. Their good's been great. Their bad hasn't been too good. Can they challenge Sacred Heart today?
Yeah, they certainly can. When you get these games in June, July with the mud, you're going to see some upsets. And for me, I think Payneham can win today. I think it means more to them with the congested ladder. Phil, Sacred Heart really would have to lose maybe 6 of the last 8 games to not hold second. So I think they're okay. I think Payneham can cause a little, it's not a big upset, a mini upset today.
And Sacred Heart, look, they're sitting beautifully, as you said, almost in the slipstream behind Glenunga in second spot with a clear gap between them and third. So what would you think Coach Alex Collada be working on at the moment, priming his team for a finals run?
I still think they would be looking after top spot, so keep winning. There's still a chance of that. They're only 2 games back from Glenunga. If Glenunga lose, things can happen. And top spot in a top 5, Phil, means more than second, doesn't it? So second, third doesn't change a lot. So if I'm Sacred Heart, I want to keep winning, and I hope that Glenunga might just slip up and lose a game or 2 soon.
And the conditions, well, it doesn't take too much to see that mud and puddles on a fair chunk of Payneham Oval this afternoon. How does that change the tactics?
Yeah, the cricket pitch is obviously the biggest issue, but there's plenty of dry ground out here. When the A grade come out, they can use the ball a lot better, but you've got to go long and direct, and you need a small forward just to take some chances and win you the game. That's what it'll come down to. Who kicks 8 goals, who kicks 6. That's what we're going to see today.
Well, looks like it's going to be a wet and willing contest based on that poor lad who just came past. We'll give you all the action after the break.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Well, g'day, welcome to the wonderful balcony that we have here up at the Payneham Oval. I truly believe it is one of the best places to watch football here in Division 1 in the Adelaide Footy League. Phil Hurden, Adam Jeffries, and of course the filming footy crew are around us. Adam, it's a wintry day, but not that unpleasant up here.
Nah, very pleasant up here with the locals in a very tight B-grade game, getting a bit of advice to the umpires, enjoying that. Hopefully they go home after this game, Phil. But no, we love it. That's what local footy's all about, isn't it? So good. Come and yell at the umpire for 2 hours. No, the Oval's not too bad. It's not as cold as it was 2 weeks ago. I keep saying that. It's not a bad day for football, Phil.
No, it's what we'd expected. If you're not in Adelaide, let me tell you, there's been rain and nothing really but rain over the last 2 to 3 days. It's been pretty consistent. And the Oval is showing it, as we will show you as we go along. Interesting matchup. The league, as I mentioned in the intro, looks like it's a two-horse race. But in the pack, we have Payneham Norwood Union at 5 and 5, sitting in 4th spot. And the challenge probably on them to show what they can do against a top-ranked team.
Yeah, for mine, this game should mean more to them, shouldn't it, Phil? You know, when you get those tight, tough contests, when you're 5 and 5, but if you lose 2 in a row, you're in a relegation battle. It's got to mean more. Home game, Sacred Heart, you know, they won't lose ladder position, will they? But having said that, I spoke to a couple of Sacred Heart players at the three-quarter time kick around. They want to win. They're waiting for Glenunga to drop one and then to beat Glenunga on the run home, and they think their percentage can get them there. So they've got plenty to play for as well. The premier offer comes from top, so you want to keep pushing. And
it's not that often at this level you see a team go through undefeated. Glenunga tried and came unstuck at the at grand final time because it is a long season in various conditions, and at various stages you're going to slip up. And look, maybe it's that day today, but yeah, certainly a two-horse race. Payneham Norwood Union, let's have a look at their season, and you can see, Adam, it's pretty much, they haven't really got a run on beyond a couple of losses, couple of wins.
Yeah, they've been relatively consistent, haven't they? But they're just the same as those 6 or 7 teams in the middle of the pack. They're capable of winning any game they go to, and they're capable of losing any game they go to. So that's why today is so important with that congested ladder. They've had some great wins, huge wins against Golden Grove. Last week was huge, wasn't it? A team that they lost to in the Division 2 grand final last year, but they've got revenge on them twice in the Division 1 comp. So what's more important, winning the Division 1 games or winning the Division 2 grand final? You'd love to have a flag, wouldn't you? But well done to them. That was a great win last week, but a big challenge today against Sacred Heart team, who are incredibly tight defensively. So Payneham are going to have to find some goal scorers today.
A little statistical trivia note, a bit of numerology. If you have a look down this list, after 2 games, the Falcons were 1 and 1. After 4 games, 2 and 2. After 6 games, 3 and 3. 8 games, 4 and 4. 5 games, 5 and 5. They've just hovered around that 50% mark.
If they win today, they lose next week, Phil, or vice versa? Lose
I
today, win next week.
That's what I'd be suggesting.
Yeah.
Whatever they do today, they'll do the opposite next week. The lineup, we've got Austin Davidson coming in. He's wearing number 29. And a late male change. Nick Kelly goes out as Seb Bauer comes in.
Yeah, they've got some good cattle in their team. John Giannini didn't play when we called early in the year, and he's been a fantastic player for Payneham for many years now, and he's a big-bodied mid, and he'll thrive in these conditions. I've been really impressed with Wagner a couple of times this year, Phil. Wagner's a really good up-and-coming Buddy Franklin-style centre-half forward for Payneham. Brad McKenzie will set them up from the back all day. Harry Viney didn't play early in the year at full forward. Looking forward to him today. And Matt Nunn is a sneaky chance of winning the medal for the best player in the competition this year. So Payneham have got some strike power in their team and some good role players around them.
Yeah, indeed. And just the three changes: Jed Spence, Mac Hayes and Nicholas Kelly out in, Grant Catalano, Austin Davidson and Seb Bow. Three changes for the Falcons. The B grade is just concluded and it was a 5-point win to Sacred Heart. 6-7-43, Payneham Norwood Union 5-8-38. Now that backs onto the C grade where Shock beat Payneham Norwood Union by 6 straight goals, 36 points. So Hearts going for the triple today.
Got some good depth going through their club, Sacred Heart, at the moment, haven't they?
They have indeed. Well, it starts with their actual school team.
Yep.
Used to call games with John Simons, who's an excellent coach there at school level, and they have that group coming through. Let's have a look at the visitors. Sacred Heart this season, a lot of green.
Yeah.
Right in the win column.
Pretty good way to sum it up, isn't it? Green is good, and they've got lots of green. You know, a narrow loss to Glenunga by 5 points, and a loss to Port Districts, which was somewhat of a surprise, but an incredibly inaccurate day. Other than that, they've been too good. Their defensive numbers are unbelievable, Phil. They strangle the life out of the opposition, and they've got just enough talent in their front half to put a decent score on the board. So really impressed with Sacred Heart, what they've been able to do in the last year and a half back into Division 1 after a long time out. And they are a genuine flag chance this year for mine.
That game against Port District, every team you give a mulligan to as an exemption. That one where they conceded 16 goals, 5. It was actually, they scored 5-18.
Yeah.
So they had 2 more scoring shots.
You get one of them a season
points.
where you have more scoring shots and get done.
Yeah, that's the mulligan. Outside of including that, only 3 times this year have Sacred Heart allowed a team to score 10 goals or more.
Yes, and that's the numbers. And like I said, that day Port Districts did it only by incredible accuracy. So yeah, they're really good defensively. They're really good in the midfield, so their teams can't score from stoppage. They've got probably the best tall defenders in the competition. Tapp and Sanderson get on the back shoulder and spoil the ball and intercept mark all the time. So yeah, they're a really formidable team, Sacred Heart, but on a game that will be relatively low scoring, it's about taking your chances, and that accuracy will play a big role today, Phil.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a shootout today, unlike the last time we saw Payneham Norwood Union at Brighton, where we were treated to a 30-goal game. The Sacred Heart team, Carlotta just slots in beautifully as the playing coach leading the ruck. Always enjoys Sean Tapp's game. A couple of other players that you catch your fancy?
Yeah, this is midfield depth. You see Harrison Boyle on the team sheet there. They're waiting to get him back and qualify him for the finals. He is not playing today, which is a late out, called up to the SANFL. I know Sacred Heart were hoping they might get 3 or 4 games into him, but that may not be the case now. It's their on-ball depth, Phil. It's their wingers, McDermott and Simons, who are great players. Rankin, Moore, Kerrish, who are just really, really good. Bradley Noble's an underrated ruckman, and he's good enough to allow Kay Lotto to stay forward. So they've got a great mix of players, and I mentioned their defenders as well. They've got good kickers off the back. They've got everything they need, and they've got depth when they get injuries, Phil. So Sacred Heart are in a good position to make the grand final this year.
Tyson Coe will come in at number 8, replacing Boyle, who wasn't in. So really 3 changes. Luke Dewhurst, Elijah Lobb and Bowen Payne are the 3 omissions. Sean Tapp is a huge in. Lachlan Hartshaw, and as mentioned, Tyson Coe rounds out Sacred Heart, that are doing everything right at the moment. Now, I'm going to give kudos with our next slide to our producer, Hugo. Obviously, they've met this season, but Payneham Norwood Union and Sacred Heart have managed to avoid each other
for a long time.
And Hugo had to go back to 2015. 3,276 days ago. I'm sure he counted every single one.
And that was in Division 1 as well. Payneham were in Division 1.
Yeah, because Payneham were in there for a fair while.
And that would have been the last season Sacred Heart were in Division 1, I believe, until their recent promotion.
Spot on.
Very well done, Hugo.
So some big wins. There might be a couple of players that might have been in there. Connor Hawthorne, Tristan Kakuro for Sacred Heart, Matt Nunn was at the Redlegs by that stage. So just 3.
Payneham were a juggernaut at that time as well. Yeah. I believe they lost the grand final in 2015. Lost a few grand finals in Division 1, Payneham, but they had great players coming out of the Norwood Football Club footy factory. Used to be the old player at Norwood in the sample, come retire at the Payneham Norwood.
They were the Norwood Seas, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a little bit like that. They had some great teams, and you can see the results in that year. A couple of big wins to Payneham.
But the one that does matter 10 weeks ago was a narrow win to Sacred Heart, which would give the Falcons some hope for today. Always a big round 11, as the ladder starts to spread out a little bit. Coin toss not too far away, so we might get thought on the first game, then we'll come back for the others. Port District, Teachery Gully at Largs Reserve.
That's an interesting game, isn't it? Teachery Gully need a win. They've been playing good footy and having some narrow losses, so they need to win, but I thought Districts get the chocolates at home.
As we've got the coin toss, what do we got here? We've got Clayton Simmons for Sacred Heart Old Collegians. I think it's, well, Jason Nye, Matt Nye is the normal captain, was that injured earlier in the year. Gaby got his coin back. And Sacred Heart have won the toss, and they'll be kicking to the, what do we call that? The northeast end.
Yeah, it's a bit of a diagonal, this oval, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Not the old north-south traditional football oval when they built this oval many years ago.
Well, they've done well to fit it in. I think it feels like a smaller oval, and certainly the renovation's pretty good. Some other games. This was going to be an interesting battle, Broadview and Glenunga. You just wonder when and if the Rams are going to stumble against the Broadview side that we thought would be a contender. At the moment, they're just trying to stay above relegation.
Yeah, every week I think, oh, will Glenunga drop one? And they just don't, do they? Broadview, for mine, have found something since the mid-season break. Phil, they've found a little bit of better defensive numbers and contest after a touch-up at home against St. Peter's. I think they took a bit of stock after that game about a month ago. So they've found a little something, but Glenunga could get up by 3 or 4 goals in that game.
Brighton Bombers, Prince Alfred. Brighton have got to try and get every win they can, especially at home. Stay out, get out of relegation, and we could only be, how could we not be impressed by how Prince Alfred performed last week?
It'll be a different game at Brighton today, though. It'll be more of a slow. Last week was a bit of a kick and catch with your schoolmates. This week will be a contest. I think Brighton can win at home. These are the type of games that they win. Coach Backwell always finds 4 or 5 wins at home against those teams just above them. I think Brighton win that game by 2 goals in a mini upset.
Yeah, but Prince Alfred, the incentive that those are, with Teachery Gully and Payneham in the 5 playing teams above them, could be a spot in the 5 opening up if they can get up. And the last game, look, it's huge for both clubs. St. Peter's and Golden Grove, they're both on 3 wins. The loser is out of relegation tonight. The winner is right in it. Yeah,
that's a huge game. It's a big game for Golden Grove given the expectations this season. They'll enjoy going to the caterer. The caterer should be in pretty good nick today. The school groundsman.
I don't know.
I have been to caterer. Yeah, but the groundsman's been working overtime this week because I think the old Collegians team need a dry deck. I think if it's a bit of a mud heap, that might suit Golden Grove with their bigger bodies a little bit. But they'll need a respond from last week. They were disappointing last week, weren't they, St. Peter's? So that's a 50-50 game. I think Golden Grove by a goal. Could go either way.
Yeah. And a reminder, whilst we are the match of the day, you're with what we call the stream team. All the other games are streamed with commentary as well if you want to have a look around. Just get on YouTube and check out Filming Footy, and you'll find lots of footy, maybe Filming Footy and the club that you want to watch. Not too far away from the start of this contest, our umpiring crew, Michael Williamson, Stefan Cedarblad, James Underwood and Michael Polnitz are waving the flags, and Mark Chandler and Steve Martin
wear the footy boots, the goal umpires, in the footy boots.
I checked with them, and they brought the long stops today. Although no big puddles like we had, was it Brighton?
Was it Brighton, the big
2
puddle?
weeks ago? Yeah. They'll be right. I reckon this is a good day to be the goal umpire. As long as you sort of keep shuffling, I reckon. Not sure you'll be particular. Just, of course, just on cue, as we're ready to start, what do I feel but an Arctic breeze?
Yes.
Just flow in. Alrighty, Adam, tip and margin.
Yeah, I think Payneham win. I think they can win by a goal or 2. I just think it's going to be in the trenches. It should mean more to them a little bit. Sacred Heart, you wouldn't begrudge them having a slightly down day. But again, like we spoke about Glenunga, I've probably said that a few times this year, and Sacred Heart just get the job done. They're just good at getting the job done. So this will be a tight game. Payneham by a goal or 2 in front of their home crowd.
You have, I've noticed, been tipping an upset in recent times. You tipped Saints last week.
Got that one wrong, Phil.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the Division 1 expert, and I got that one wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we don't go in tipping comps anymore. I love the way that Sacred Heart has settled. They got 21 players out there. I believe 18 of the 21, maybe even 19, because I haven't checked Tyson Co, played league for Sacred Heart A grade last year.
Yeah.
And 20, possibly now 21 of the 21, all were with the club last year. That is an incredible consistency. My main worry is they've been on Media Street. The advertiser profiled them a fair bit about such things.
So due for a downer.
I was about to say, has anything ever happened when your club got on Media Street?
Yeah. just avoid it because you always lost the next game.
That's it.
When the balls bounce, we'll know they've been a formidable team. Should be a good game. The conditions not too bad at the moment.
Well, thanks to filming footy, the siren is gone and we're set to rock and roll. We're going to ball it up in the middle, let the players sort it out from there, get it out of that mud heap. Do Sacred Heart. Now it's a race for pace for the ball. And in the end, it's going to be picked up by Ethan Moore. He was the brave man. Back to Captain Simons, who won the coin toss. His kick to centre to Braun missed the target.
So back to the centre bounce, Phil. We've spoken about this a couple of times. So the throw-up, we should say, was done in the mud. From what I know, the umpires will go to both coaches and say, should we move it? And if both coaches don't agree, they just stay in the centre.
Yeah. So status quo unless we have...
So which coach wanted it in the mud and which coach didn't, Phil?
Oh, Jeremy Seedy, Alex Carlotta. Well, Carlotta's actually got to deal with it, so I might have asked him.
I think it's Payneham.
Although that's him there at the moment. He's got it back to Simons.
I think Payneham would prefer a slug today.
Yeah, I think anything to... although defence is Sacred Heart's game, so as Jordan Shirley's taken the mark at centre half back, looked right, goes a short kick, still in the 50-metre arc. As it's with Matty Nunn.
So the game styles will be interesting today. We've seen both teams take lateral kicks so far, Phil, not just taking territory while the ball's still dry. It'll be interesting to see if that holds through the day.
No one you can go. It's not one you can go right down the corridor unless you kick over the mud pit.
Yes.
But you can go a little bit to the side. What worries me is probably the team that's heading to the end that Payneham are kicking to if they're coming down the members' wing. There's a lot of mud going that way. Right now in front of the old scoreboard, of course the Hans Sportal scoreboard has been replaced here. It's nice and brightly lit. At the moment showing nothing happening in the first 2 minutes, at least score-wise. Ground level, that's Tom McDermott going in hard. So second getting the ball first. Payneham are doing a lot of the tackling thus far. I think that's tap in the ruck, was it? Noble.
It's still Noble in the ruck.
Yeah.
Got the same haircut. Same haircut.
Nice tap by Noble. It only go as far though as Jack Hodges. His kick in front of that Hans Sportal scoreboard off some hands. All indications that this was going to be a scrappy slog are being justified so far.
A lot of numbers around the ball, and this is where the umpiring plays a big part in these games, Phil, as well. Will they pay the ticky-touch high ones, or will they just let it run a little bit?
Go. Another tap. I'm noticing that Noble's winning a fair deal of them at the moment, but Sacred Heart are struggling to get a proper clearance out of it. Payneham have bolted it up well. Cooper Brinkworth has gone down to get it. Almost seems to be a Falcons tactic to... Well, we won't get it first, we'll just lay the tackle. Again, Noble, I'm not sure if you're keeping ruck stats at him, but I reckon that's 4 in a row that he's picked up on a day when I expect he's going to be busy. Sacred Heart worked it back to the centre. Payneham will reload and go inside 50. It went off the chest of Harrison Viney. In some hard traffic was none. On to Catalano and his kick. Well, in the end it's with Simons. His kick, beautifully smothered by Scrimgeour. On to Catalano, who needed a bit more oomph on that. I reckon that's tap. The other long-haired, I'm going to say long-haired loud, but that's a bit unfair. Through Carlotta, who's going to bend down and pick it up in a bit of dry space here. High kick to the forward 50 arc of Sacred Heart, and it will go out of bounds.
Looked for me like that ball held up a little bit as well, Phil. So a bit more of a breeze has just popped up in the last 10 minutes.
Just trying to work out where it's actually going. Because the instant reaction is it's cold, not...
And you could see when Simons took that mark at half back, he still wanted to come in laterally. I think they'll start putting that away soon and just take territory, get it inside 50.
Another chance here. Handballs laterally. Moore. And he was taken care of by Jacob Campbell. That will be a free downfield in the hands of Will McAuliffe. McAuliffe, well, if that arc is a true 50, he's about 55 out. To a muddy pocket. We're Payneham Norwood Union to have some numbers. None, on to Campbell. They'll bring it down towards the clubhouse. Speaking of clubhouse, and the football almost ends up in the barbecue. Guess who cooked my sausage today?
Magnificently done.
The great Gary McIntosh, who might have something to say about that kick.
How good. Gary McIntosh on the barbecue here at Payneham.
He just took off before I got them, but he certainly cooked them. And I was thinking, is there a job you don't do at this footy club? Do you run the bar at half time as well?
When I was coaching Goodwood, he used to play in the C grade still at the age of 55.
Yeah.
Does everything.
Definitely. I mean,
and he never
Southall
missed.
fans know him as a Norwood legend, but I reckon he's just as much a legend here.
Oh, probably bigger. And at the age of 55 was still pinpointing left foot passes all over the ground.
And still a player you wouldn't want to try and run through.
No, he had. The young kids didn't know who he was. That was the only thing. They were like, "Who's this old bugger?" Well, we've seen an aggressive approach there from Sagra Hart. Good decision there. It's pretty willing and tight, isn't it? Both teams, no one taking a backward step. But this is what happens. A lot of numbers around the ball in Division 1. Won't be a pretty game of football. It'll be a game of who want and desire.
We'll make it as exciting as we can. As it's second versus fourth. A big fly from Viney. A torp. That was a torp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was touched, because of course we do have the last disposal rule.
So we've seen the last few kicks field nearly drift out of bounds on the full coming towards this
so the
pocket
breeze
in front
is
of
coming
it.
in, isn't it?
Which might be good. But the breeze seems to always go away from the commentators, doesn't it? Maybe it's coming towards us today. We'll see a bit of footy in front of us.
We're going to see some footy today. Fantastic. Moore is ridden to the ground by Catalano. Ball spills free. Simon's doing a lot of work around the back of the pack. High kick. Again, the distance. Their high kicks, they're not really penetrating too far. And I reckon that might have something to do with the breeze. This is with Campbell. He'll look to go the other way.
And
into a 2-on-1 contest, but well positioned and taken by Sparkle. A hand pass, and suddenly the Falcons inside forward 50, and it's a mark or a free. It is a free, taken by Brandon Smith. He's got a teammate. They'll work it nicely around the far side. We'll be close to that boundary line. I think we'll see a fair bit of soccering today out of that one. There's 3 Falcons in a wave there. If they can get it, they're off, but they can't. And it was Kakuro, who's a fair way from his goal kicking home. And it was Shirley to Wagner, who's a long way from his home, where he's kicked 20 goals, the Falcons' leading goal scorer this season. At the moment, Adam, it is truly kick to kick, and smothering is the name of the game.
At the moment. A lot of pressure around the ball at the moment. A lot of smothers, a lot of fierce tackling.
So on the outer side, nicely picked up by Nye. It is a chance. Falcons have got a spare play if they can make it work. It sits with Davidson called into the side. But Captain Clayton Simmons is ready and waiting for it. Dodges around.
And that is a magnificent kick.
Attacker. That has got some good vision to it.
I think they'd like to wheel and go if they can here. I'll just be going to K Lotto and getting some territory.
Yeah, and that kick anything but, unfortunately. We get some good shots here from our cameraman as Kakuro couldn't quite get there. You can see the balcony, the club rooms, the puddles.
I'm pretty sure Kakuro did touch that, but the boundary umpire missed it. He'll be disappointed, Kakuro. He ran 100 yards just to touch it.
We've certainly got a good replay if they ever want to use it. Falcons inside 50. No one's had a close to a shot on Angie yet, have they?
Nope.
They haven't got within probably 25 metres of their own goal. That's a hand pass. Yep, that should be last disposal. You can see the great Catalano brings it in board. Carlotta comes in and lays the thump. Just trying to see if the teams are playing a man behind. It certainly feels like it at the moment. There's an error, and Kakura couldn't quite get there. Oh, there's you really can't swing a player around if they haven't got the football, and that's what Connor Hartshaw did. Felix Grimger as it for Payneham. We'll go back. I'm not sure if going backwards is going to be a thing today.
I'm surprised at some of the short tactics. It's hard to go away from a game style that you do most weeks, Phil, and the players will adjust.
Because that's what's going to happen. And Tyson Coe. Late call up. Spots up Kakuru.
Great spoil there.
No mark, no free. Okie dokie. Instead of soccer, a rebounding soccer. Footy to get at the 50-metre arc. Trying to bash through the pack was Hartshaw. In the end, this is well backed. The attack on the ball was exceptional. The disposal maybe not so. And that was by Austin Davidson, who comes into the side on debut, number 27. My records go back to 2014, where he was under 13s for Payneham Norwood Union, having played 7 reserves and 3 C grade games last year, making his A's debut this afternoon. Congratulations to him. Here's Coe. There's Wagner. Not sure where Wagner's playing at the moment.
It might be the second ruck. Wagner comes under the ball for a few minutes in the middle of the quarter. And if he can't get the ball inside 50, it might be a good move because he can really use his athleticism around the ground. Let's see what happens at this contest. No, he's down on the ground as a ruck rover.
Okay. Oh, right. As you do when you're his size.
It's like a little bit of a Bontempelli almost in there, isn't he?
Yeah. Kerish sends forward. That came off someone's foot. If they can work out who, I'm going to be touched.
Umpire is going to give the free kick to Payneham, I believe, for the little accidental shin knock. No, he's going to throw it in. Don't mind that. If you're unsure, throw it in, Phil. Yeah. Don't guess on a game like today.
It's got to be absolute no doubt stuff. So it's probably fair to say Shock have had most of the possession. If you joined us 10 minutes late, you haven't missed a score.
The scoreboard is working.
Yeah, it is.
Hugo hasn't fallen asleep.
There was a bit of fun and games with the official time clock on the scoreboard in the reserves, which the siren went at the 6-minute mark. I don't think that's correct. Anyway, Aldemaro with the kick forward by Payne. It really is kick to kick at the moment. There's a bit of an introduction to the mud by Tap. Yep, be a day to get those hammies.
Oh, that feels good. Yep. Hopefully that's not a hamstring strain down there and just a little bit of getting warm.
Yeah, you'd want to warm up today, wouldn't you? You'd want to...
That deep heat. That's why they created deep heat for days like today, Phil.
Another tap to Noble. He's raking them up. Another soccer to Kerish in the centre square. A huge soccer, but I think that was by by Sparkle.
So surprisingly, Phil, you said as we see a good switch of play here, Payneham have had 6 inside 50s, a lot of them shallow. Sacred Heart only the 3, but Sacred Heart have had more of the ball, just going a bit sideways and handballing a bit at the moment.
Yep, and we might...
Now they're through.
We'll check the interchange in a second. Oh, yes, there's a blood rule, which if this goes out of bounds, go out of bounds, we might just get you. You missed the money shot, unfortunately, but I can tell that Darcy Glue has got a bit of claret, which is going to require a bit of attention.
So again, that breeze sort of drifted the ball down towards this half-forward flank. Didn't that? A lot of footy being played here at the moment.
Throw in 55 out. Nice read off the pack by Matt Nye. Oh, 1-2 back to Nye. This is pretty good footy for the conditions. Davidson, again the debutant. We got a clunk inside 50. Here's a chance. This is Tommy Wagner. He wheels around. His kick is going straight for the maintenance shed. That's a fair way off goal. It's going to bounce, stop and prop and will not score unless Sacred Heart concede. We have our first score. It's taken 13 and a half minutes. And it is a rust behind to the Hearts.
So we've mentioned Wagner a few times. So he sort of has that Bontempelli licence a little bit, doesn't he? He goes on the ball as a ruck rover, and then when he feels like it, he goes to the top of the square. He's a real tricky matchup and becoming a really good player in this competition. Great clunk inside 50 there. Very aggressive kick out straight down the guts, Phil. Let's see what happens here.
Straight for the coast. It'll get good brownie points. Trying to run it through the middle. They're doing it all right now. Who's the player to kick to? That's beautifully done. 1-2. Back to Seb Kerish, who's under a bit of trouble. Coming in to help is Rankin. Manages to get the kick away. And I reckon that was more luck than good judgment, but Mackenzie with the mark. And that was a moment for Sacred Heart. Just couldn't find a way home.
Great play by Kerish on the initial one, but I never know why when a player has a mark, he wants to give a handball to a player running past, because all it does is invite pressure, Phil. Kerish should have just kept running into the pocket. He could have chipped it over to him.
Yeah.
Easier in the commentary box, though. But
it is fiery. I'm the greatest player ever in the commentary box.
Once you handball, you invite pressure.
Correct.
You cannot tackle a man who's taken a mark.
Mind you, a bit more open space, run on. Yeah, probably. Look, I guess it depends on where that man on the mark is and if he's going to get over.
we used to coach a bit, sell the dummy to the guy running past, and it would move the man on the mark and open up the lane inside 50.
The other way.
Yeah. And that's probably the tactic the team should look at today. Put the handball away once you've taken a mark. Get territory.
Yep. Yes, I reckon it's not going to be a day of much finesse.
Because on the screen, like, it's not raining right now, and the oval's not slippery. It's just muddy.
Last couple of hours.
With how cold it is, and with the mud on the football, it is difficult to handle. And there's a lot of numbers around the ball, and the tackling pressure from both teams is immense.
Kick in, and again, McKenzie, he finds a way to the football, Brad McKenzie.
Yeah, every team knows.
I keep saying he's lucky, but you can't be lucky that often. Lucky that often.
Every team knows he's the man that's going to get it, and he still keeps getting it.
Interesting at the moment. Might be Dodson is the loose Falcon in defence. I'll work out where Shock's loose one is shortly. Simmons inside 50. Simons, inside 50. We'll call can't get there.
Is it Simons or Simmons, Phil?
That's
what do we say?
That's what I'm just doing in my head.
Tomato or tomato?
I know, and I'm doing them both, and I know, therefore, I'm 50% wrong. But I'm also 50% right, and I'm a half-glass full kind of guy.
This is what Sacred Heart want. Deep forward pocket throw-in. They can get their numbers up, get some repeat entries, put some real pressure on Payneham.
I reckon it might be Simons. I'll go with Tony.
It is the son of.
Yeah, well, he was Tony Simons, so hit me every time I say Simmons from now on. Simons.
Haven't called none a lot so far, but that was a great tackle. I dare say he'll take some territory here, Phil. Nope.
Oh, I probably should have. This is where, if I was to say where the ball has been today, it's been on Sacred Heart's forward 50 arc, but barely going anything closer.
Yeah, both teams haven't had a lot of deep entries, have they, Phil? There hasn't been a lot of ball inside 20.
I'm not sure if they have the dash. Here we go, here's a chance.
That's Hart Sean, I think, who's sort of the second sort of decoy forward for K Lotto.
Connor.
2 Hart Seans in the team. This is an important shot on goal because it's just been a pure arm wrestle, hasn't it? But when we look back, Phil, at 5 o'clock today, these are the shots that either go through or don't that win the game.
Yeah. Well, he is the veteran. He's made his Sacred Heart debut being a Brighton Bombers junior with Shock in 2012. 4 goals from his 6 games this season. A goal last week. A goal the last time they played. And a miss. So that's a rush behind, well, not a behind each.
First shot on goal. Unless we call Wagner's wheel and go a shot on goal earlier.
No, well, given it was so far away, I don't think we probably should. Because you never know, maybe passing it to the maintenance shed. Sanzo the hand pass, Falcons are clearing it out to the southeast side. Oh, Colorado, show he's got some great little ground skills, hasn't he? The big man. Still hard for anyone. There's Matty Nunn in action. Hard for anyone to get any clear possession. Nunn on to Sam Scrimger. There's 2 scrimmagers today. Sam 16 and Felix 6. And here's a chance for Sacred Heart. It's with Ethan Moore. Open space at the 50-metre arc.
Ooh.
Touched on the line. I feel like I should be calling for the BBC. Sacred Heart 2, Payneham 1.
Soccer score at the moment. They've had 6 of the last 7 entries, though, Sacred Heart. So really peppering away. Payneham can't find a way to clear at the moment.
Good stretch, needed to be.
Mackenzie's always looking for the 1-2 just to get some territory, but they manned him up well on that occasion.
So that was Dodson who took that mark. And
Great
I think that's a mark paid, yep,
Sanderson.
By Zachary, former Goody Saints, joined Shock in 2023. There's his runner. Wormburner kick inside 50. I'm not sure which side has the wind advantage. I'm suspecting neither.
No, I don't think so at the moment.
Will be a ball up inside the 50-metre arc. I'd say, what's the inside 50 count?
It's now 10-7 in favour of Sacred Heart.
I was about to say, yeah, it feels like
7 of
they've
the
had
last
more.
8.
But they've had a couple that are around that 55 mark. And I know you're a tough judge,
Nah, if it
Before you give
goes to
someone inside
if it goes to 48, I'm happy to pay it.
Okay.
Payneham had 2 or 3 of them early in the quarter. Not a lot of deep entries so far.
Gee, it's just a scramble at the moment, isn't it, as McAuliffe tried to get some yardage, meterage, take your pick.
And we've got a free kick. Not going the way of Sacred Heart, though.
No, it's going to end up, I think, with Jack Hodges. It is.
Got shepherded out of the ruck contest there.
In front of a few fans. Okay, folks, you can come in. It is free. You don't have to stand the other side of the fence. Come on through.
Good relieving mark on the far side there. They just need to take some territory and just try and get some ball in their front half. Nothing fancy. Still looking sideways.
Been a while since they've had an inside 50, Payneham. We've gone 20 minutes. We've had no goals. We could have a totally scoreless quarter at current rate. Gluyas' kick. Here's their chance. They're doing it right through the middle to set up these inside 50s. 2-on-1 through the back of the hands of Hartshorn. And a goal flag goes flying. Let's do some players. It's another. I'm going to call that a rush behind.
He'll be disappointed there, Hartshorn. I thought he was just in the box seat. The ball just kept carrying over the back. Sacred Heart peppering away, but haven't found a 6-pointer thus far. Payneham under a fair bit of pressure here, but they've soaked it up thus far. They just need to find a way to get the ball in their front half.
Well, my theory about causing upsets is at least stay within range, and the longer you can stay within range, the more likely that upset becomes if you can get a final quarter charge. And certainly, Payneham are within range. That's a high kick. You get an idea of the breeze with that. And in the end, this is see how long this quarter goes for. We've got the normal time on for stoppages, none for goals.
Be a very short quarter, Phil, I think.
23-24, you reckon? Because there's been stoppages, and they're usually...
Can soak up a bit of time.
Yeah, I'm going to go 24-20. What do you predict?
24-28.
Okay, you're going the high side. Okay, fair enough. Oh, slam into the mud.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, there's your scoreboard, thanks to the Hans Sportal scoreboard.
You're better off getting that slam into the mud done early in the game, I reckon. You can't avoid it. Just get into
then again, you want to come off covered in mud, don't you?
When I played forward pocket, and I would just go rub some mud on myself because I wasn't going to be in there. I just wanted to feel part of the game, Phil. As we get
come on, Jeffries, get into it.
It was another
here's
entry
a chance
here.
for Sacred Heart as Coase barely got the behind.
All they're missing is a finish here at the moment,
Correct.
Phil. They are winning the territory game. They are getting the ball into a really good hot spot. They've got numbers front and centre of those contests that their forwards are providing. They just can't finish. They could easily have had a couple of goals on the board thus far. Yeah. But that'll come if they keep playing the way they're playing. 12 inside 50s now for them.
We're into 23 minutes. Noble again. I reckon he's been one of Shock's best. He's certainly got his hand on the ball more than anyone today so far.
You can see Sacred Heart are so good front and centre, aren't they? Their on-ballers are just well drilled to get to the front of those packs and outnumber the opposition.
Rankin and Campbell, one of the interesting matchups. Tried to go sneak one out the back of the pack. Yeah, the Dartfish footy stats, the tackle count.
Oh, yeah.
I think would be the leader.
Yeah. The Dartfish statisticians tonight will have a field day with that.
Yeah, good day to those of you working for Dartfish. Keeping track of all these tacklers and tacklers. I don't think you don't have a stat about being tackled, do you?
No. Not the stat you want to win, is it? Yeah. You want to break free of the congestion, don't you? Again, more tough tackling inside at the moment.
Well, I got 10 seconds left of my quarter analysis.
Just really need to hang on here, Payneham. They've done a good job. They just can't concede that goal on the siren.
Yeah, that would be a heartbreaker, wouldn't it? And, of course, that most likely way that could happen is with a free or a kick out of the pack. Oh, it's just the ball landed and it just stopped. Did not bounce in the slightest. Loose ball.
And a relieving free kick.
And holding on.
There's a good 9-9 that kick inside 50, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Surely Mackenzie will
I'd love to have that with my the sandbunker, just up and down and stop
You think Mackenzie, with his experience here, won't take any risks, and he doesn't on the siren.
You're out by 5 seconds. Improve your game. It is quarter time. Goal scorers. And we'll take a break. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back. It is quarter time, and if you have just joined us, you have not missed a goal. It is Sacred Heart 4 behind. Payneham Nord Union 1 behind, and Adam, fair to say Sacred Heart would feel the better of that first quarter, but Payneham would be happy. They're still 3 points down.
Yeah, Sacred Heart had 10 of the last 11 inside 50s, Phil. So they were dominant, but no damage done if you're Payneham. If you're the coach, Jeremy Cheney, you're happy that you haven't conceded. You're happy with your defenders. They've been right there. They've spoiled a couple of times where they thought Sacred Heart were going to mark. Sacred Heart missed one set shot in particular they'd love to have back. So exactly what we thought was going to happen pre-match. So if I'm a coach now, I'm looking who's going to be a winner inside 50 for me. This is a game where we've spoken about a few times, Phil. You know, maybe you have to pull one of your really talented players away from the ball. It's so much congestion around the ball in games like today where you just can't really dominate a game inside the phone box. So I'd be looking at, maybe can a Matt Nunn play full forward today? Have a low disposal, high impact game. Does Sacred Heart pull one of their really strong midfielders, a Kerish, a Rankin, one of those players, and just put them inside 50 and bring their tools up higher? They need to just find something different inside 50, someone that's going to win a one-on-one and score. No damage done for Payneham thus far. Sacred Heart will be happy with how they're playing.
Yeah, might be a good day for one of those beanies that Coach Jeremy Cheney is wearing at the moment. Got some scores around. We have got the low-scoring one. No surprise there. At Brighton Road, Prince Alfred 13 lead Brighton 3, so the Redmen by 10. At Broadview, Glenunga 23 lead Broadview 10. The Rams leading by 13. At Largs Reserve, Port District 18 leading Teacher Gully 9. 9-point lead to the Diddies. And St. Peter's, well, they've been in trouble kicking goals. 5-4-34, Golden Grove 2-1-13. An early 21-point lead to Spock.
Told you the groundsman had been busy at St. Peter's this week.
Spock probably needed to respond after last week's effort. So they're the quarter time scores. We'll try and give you some as at the end of during each break. Of course, we do have some prizes to give away today, always the joy of our final quarter. Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, and the iconic Dartfish Beanie, all going to our best on ground. the magic moment, it might just be whoever kicks the first goal, Adam. That's thanks to the Amorth mouthguards and Mosley Bar and Kitchen team player of the day.
Might just be a nice drop punt kick that travels 40 metres, Phil. Might just be the play of the day today. Might be a handball that hits a target.
I don't think that's a little unfair. A little unfair.
Great pressure out there. So both coaches cannot be unhappy with the effort of their team. And this is where, like I said, you've got to look for a rabbit and pull the rabbit out of the hat if I'm a coach. I just need to try something to win a contest. Like you mentioned about the Sacred Heart ruck, he's winning every tap. He's not taking any territory though, is he? If he's that dominant, tap the ball forward and then soccer off the ground and just keep the territory game going. I'd be looking to use that, as you can see, all the faithful. Pretty good crowd here, Phil, considering we're in the middle of winter here. Good local contingent here, standing in the puddle, eating the Gary McIntosh barbecue. Not a bad little atmosphere here.
Still tempted to grab a Kransky. They didn't have any when I went down it because I know the Kransky here is
devastation,
pretty legendary, but we'll see how we go. So that was the first quarter. Now you'll have Payneham going to left to screen, which is the end that Sacred Heart chose. Clayton Simons chose when he won the toss, so maybe a slight breeze there. There is a breeze. I don't think it's favouring either end. Rucks go to it. Give the first tap on that occasion to Bauer. Seb Bauer, number 15, of course, has come into the side. There's more. You know what we haven't seen today so far? I don't think.
A goal?
Yep, I've covered that. A holding the ball decision.
No. Umpiring's been good. All you want today, are you going to pay a lot of free kicks or not many?
Yep.
As long as it's consistent and the players understand, and it has been thus far.
So they've been pretty keen to protect the player. Anything, the holding on, the slinging, the late tackling, they've awarded those free kicks.
I don't mind what they're doing. When the conditions are tricky, when the player's hunting the ball, you've got to give them an extra couple of seconds to get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, again, first inside 50 to Sacred Heart, although nicely picked up by Mackenzie, who's been their leading defender. And it doesn't take long before a scrimmage develops. That's a good spot to watch. So the old scoreboard, no longer in use, but still a good vantage spot. You're protected from the wind there, I suspect.
It's starting to come in chilly now, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the coat right here ready to put on at a moment's notice. The natural insulation is starting to give way a little bit. Seb Bauer's kick towards the outer wing. Yeah, we did think, Adam, that Mulotta play would be on our side.
We have seen a bit more than often we get the commentators curse and the breeze taking the ball away from the commentary box. Hasn't been too bad today.
Yeah. If you're there on the hill there, I like to call it the Harndorf Hill. You keep heading in that direction,
Tommy Javor Hill.
Is that the Tommy Javor Hill?
I think he claimed a hill here, didn't he?
Oh, he claimed every pocket. He said, I kicked a goal from that pocket. Keeper Brinkworth. Now they're in some open space. Tom McDermott from the edge of 50 sizes up an almost open goal. The bounce is awry. That's as close as we've come to a goal so far.
I think both Sacred Heart forwards lost their bearings there. I think they thought it was going to bounce through and it was just going to the other side of the post. I thought Carlotta could have potentially marked it.
I thought it was going to bounce through. So 5-1. That's usually a wipeout in some sports.
They'll need to take an opportunity soon, Sacred Heart. They have peppering away, but Payneham will get some front half territory soon.
Well, the biggest worry for Falcons would be the one, because they haven't looked like scoring any more than that.
And that was a rush behind as well.
Yeah. So you could say Payneham no player has actually kicked a score yet.
No score off the boot thus far.
Yeah. So Taj Rahu's kick going in pretty hard. Nice hand pass into space by Catalano. They're getting some run here, Payneham to Rahu. Backing up his earlier work. Well done. There's a target. Great chance for Payneham Norwood Unit, because that looks like a very dry run-up.
Is that Jackson Martin with the ball?
I reckon Brandon Jackson Martin.
Yeah. And he's the type of player who can be elusive inside 50. He just slipped his opponent there on a little double back lead and read the drop of the ball. Can he kick a set shot from 45? Little breeze at his back here potentially.
Well, I'll tell you a bit about him in a sec, but he started playing footy this year, not here. Come up through the North Adelaide reserves, where he played last year. Second A-grade game for the Falcons. And he has the first goal! Woohoo! Thank goodness for that. And with that, Payneham Norwood Union take the lead.
So there we called it, didn't we? So Sacred Heart had 12 of the last 13 inside 50s. Paynham's first entry this quarter is a goal. So that's what can happen in low-scoring games. It's about taking your opportunities. That's a great set shot from 45 metres out. Great play from Payneham on the far side. They got a little bit of overlap handball going, and they got an open field to Jackson Martin, who we called Payneham early in the season. We did not see him, so it's a handy in, isn't it? A lot of clubs, June 30 deadline, there's always looking for those late recruits, and that's a great in for Payneham. First goal of the day, well done, Brandon Jackson Martin.
Yeah, kicked 3 goals the last time these two teams met, and 1 last week to be one of the Falcons' best in their narrow 8-point win over Golden Grove. So that's put a bit of a charge into this game.
So the game just changes in a minute, doesn't it? You get a goal and a centre bounce, and everyone's like, oh, Paynham's on top here after they were really dominated for half an hour.
Every stat says absolutely otherwise, except the one set of numbers that really matters.
Scoreboard.
That's it. So Simons will be collected by the Bangeloni. Will try and stay away from Seb Bauer, and Wagner does get the kick away. It's interesting. Alex Carlotto is playing almost like a wingman. He just seems to be the target on that outer side.
Yeah, his role is as the centre half forward, but he'll come high to give his team an outlet. He's got a great work rate, the big fella. And here he goes again.
Yeah, Kerish. Simmons. Carlotto trying to run around his defender. Not a bad effort. That hand pass to Carlotto, missed the target.
And we've got
that was a bit crude on the tackle, and it will be
slipped over the shoulder. Not a lot in it.
Now we do have a new number.
We might have had a blood rule new number.
Yeah, that's Henry McAuliffe. But I can tell you when you see him that Darcy Gluyas is 23 now.
Okay, he was the one that had the blood in the first quarter.
Correct. But this is
tricky shot on goal here, Phil.
Henry McAuliffe, who kicked 3 last week, 2 the last time they met. For a quick response.
There's a mark on the point post.
Yeah, nicely done.
That's a fantastic moustache and a fantastic mark.
He's got them. He's got
trying to pick who that is.
Jackson Fox.
He's kicked a few goals this year, Fox.
3 last week, 14 for the season.
That was a really good mark in the conditions. Can he think his way through this? Looks like he wants a drop punt, Phil. Nope.
Oh, yes, he does the banana. Oh, sorry, I'm South Australian, check side. And that is your quick response. Fox's first goal today, his 15th for the season. I reckon that, besides Henry McAuliffe and Carlotto, leads all comers.
You can see on the replay there, he's holding the ball like a drop punt, and then at the last minute did the old school 80s check side, I call it.
Yep.
That's a great finish. When you're that close, you think it's easy. It's not. That's a great finish. And it was a great mark. Payneham would be disappointed to concede that one on the point post. But Sacred Heart deserved the goal. A little flurry of goals, Phil. Good to see.
Yeah, well, it means we're going to have a bit more time on in the second quarter. Fantastic. A goal each. As we reset. Crowds come out from the club rooms onto the balcony. Did someone kick a goal? A high kick. Right back from where it came. We'll try that again. Interesting soccer attempt by Henry McAuliffe. Another one in reply by the Falcons. Oh, that was a very interesting hand pass from Moore to Brun. Brun's kicks inside 50. Somehow got out of the pack to Catalano. Bauer gave it straight back to Kerish. Kerish's worm burner kick. I'm not sure if that was the intended target.
Certainly wasn't, but they'll take it. But this is that tricky distance, Phil. Does Simons have a 50-metre set shot in him? I don't think he does. So this will be interesting to see where he places it. I'd be looking to get the ball into a dangerous spot so they can at least not take a mark, get a ball up and put some real pressure on rather than just allow Brad McKenzie to take a kick out after a spoil through.
Juniors through Brighton. I found most of these players have either done their juniors through Brighton or Plimpton. I reckon my beloved Plimpton Bulldogs would have a decent side if all the shot players went back to him. That's a beautiful kick.
That's a stunning finish, Phil. He was just inside 50 when he kicked it, and he did it easily. Wasn't sure if Simmons had that that kick in him, but he knew his range and he kicked it, which is what you like to see. You hate it when players want the set shot from 50 and can't make it. He's just stepped inside and flushed it. That's a great set shot. And he's had a fair bit of the ball today, Sim. He's made a couple of errors with his lateral kicks, but he's getting lots of it, and he's been an influential player thus far.
Third goal. Only played the 4 games this season, so him back will certainly boost the stocks for the Hearts fans, who now have the biggest lead of the ball game, 2-5-17 to 1-1-7. So you can see there the Falcons coaching staff with the table, all in various beanies and attire. One thing about that breeze, it's sort of blowing in. I think it's a southeasterly, which is kind of rare in Adelaide.
And we should mention as well, Phil, with the low scoring, this isn't just conditions. Sacred Heart are a very, very good defensive team, aren't they? This is, if it was a dry game in March, they have the capability.
I don't even think today it's their defence. I think it's their midfield.
Yeah, they're so deep in there and they don't allow teams to exit from around the ball.
Payneham they're lucky that they're one inside 50, now second. Their first one got a goal. Otherwise, it's really been played in Hearts' half of the field.
A little bit of afters there, boys getting around it.
Who's that with the mud around him? I'll get that play. He's got mud all over his face as well. He looks like a Braveheart warrior. The slot continues, and there he is. Yep. Joe Gluyas. So Darcy copped one with blood. He's got a different number and had to be patched up a bit.
How many spare Guernseys have they got, Phil?
They'd have a few because they had the whole B grade, I guess.
A few more high tackles being paid. Didn't really see one in the first quarter, did we?
It's one of the things I do have to get used to, though, in this game, that you're not always guaranteed your number.
No.
So, the B grade will run around in many similar numbers to the A grade.
Yes, unless you're at Adelaide Uni and you wear number 205.
That's it. Yeah, well, that's unique, isn't it? But a good part of the league. Shirley was the one who got the free, got the kick. There's Gluyas. You can't miss him because he's got the big white bandage around the top. Now McDermott. Oh, hell, he's in a bit of space. What's that? 1-on-1 contest, 55 out. And nicely done by Dodson. He'll quickly switch sides. Try and find a bit more open space here at Payneham. Catalano going further wide. This will set a task for the debutant in Davidson. He's going to take on 2. I think their fortune on this occasion may be a bit beyond him. Put enough pressure to slow him down, though. Brinkworth to Moore. And in the end, down the throat of a Falcon.
Game's just opening up a touch, isn't it? Those goals, a bit of confidence from the players. Seen a little bit of better ball movement.
Catalano took the mark, and the kick there's a fly, no grab. The quick responsive kick at the back, deemed not to be a mark to Sam Scrimgear. His kick, though, finds Davison, and there must be a few touched ones that were caught but not marked. That one is a mark. It's inside 50, and Jacob Campbell will go back and try his goal-kicking skills.
So you can see, Phil, the coach's influence for both teams at quarter time. There hasn't been a lot of lateral kicks this quarter, has there? So it's hard for the coaches. It's not like basketball or any of the other games where you can have a timeout. You've got to wait till the break to reset. And you can see that both coaches have, hey, guys, let's put away the extra handball. Let's put away the lateral kick. Just get it in. And you can see a couple of times Payneham just got it in and taken 2 marks inside 50 now for the quarter. They've evened up the inside 50 count 5 each as well, Phil. Had a bit of the ball in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, this to kick a pretty...
And that's another
He's
straight
stopped
kick.
it. All right, well done to Campbell. His 8th goal this season. Backs up from 1 last week. And that was an important one for Payneham to get. Shocker got a couple in a row. Back to 4 points.
It's been a good game of footy this quarter, hasn't it, Phil? Both teams 2 goals each. Both teams have had their fair share of inside 50s. And it's just opening up a little bit. Keep your eye on
number 12 if you can.
Wagner.
When we next see him. I'll let you know why next time we see him, as you can see the balcony crowd. Great place to watch footy. 13 and a half gone. So no goals in the first quarter, 4 in the second. Much to our relief. not sure who I'd give the tap to on that occasion because the ball pretty much went straight down into the mud. So you're talking before about in these situations maybe the coaches get asked where they'd like, can they both agree on a placement? Can they change their mind at half time?
No.
Oh, look at that. That's just a good mud wrestle, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought both coaches would probably like to have a clear centre bounce. There's going to be enough congestion anyway, but back yourself in to win the centre bounce and get some territory. Much easier when it's played in the grass than the mud.
Rahul, good pick up, kick inside 50, set Wagner a task. Joe Lewis's hand pass to no one not much in particular. Will be a throw, will be a ball up. 60 out from Paynham's goal. So this quarter, Paynham have kicked 2 straight and Shock have kicked 2-1. So a 3-point lead is now 4. It's a fairly big round. Prince Alfred leading Brighton by 10, Glenunga leading Broadview by 13, St Peter's 21 over Golden Grove. These were quarter time, and Port District 9 over Tea Tree Gully. We had both the goalless one and the close one, I guess by definition. Shock, it's an inside 50 to a 1-on-1 contest. Tapped forward.
They've got an extra number here, Sacred
Fox
Heart.
couldn't take the mark. Oh, that's an interesting concession by Jordan Shirley. Was he under pressure? Umpires
They'll
decide
be disappointed there, Phil. They had one extra player inside 50 when the ball hit the ground there, Sacred Heart. But again, well defended by Payneham.
He comes in and finds Sparkle. We're going to see the footy. Yeehaw. Momentarily, hope it's touched before it goes out. It is by Harrison Viney. And he's had to negotiate that puddle. Just checking, yeah, my car's still there. Yep, that's good. Managed to get a car park in the park in the car park.
No, I'm about 3 streets over, Phil. Okay. Not a lot of car parking available around the
Not
Payneham
a lot.
over.
A lot more than there used to be when they were doing the renos about 3 years back. Now it's all set. Expanding the change rooms or doubling the size of the change rooms. Which, given that Payneham also one of just, better get this right, I think they're one of 3 clubs that have their men's and women's both in Div 1, along with Broadview and Golden Grove.
Done the women's footy very well here at Payneham.
Now doing it all so well is Sacred Heart. Kerr showing some dash on a wet day. And he's found the target. Reward for Carlotta off the back. Aims at goal umpire Mark Chandler. And drills Shock's third.
Kerrish for mine is the one player, Phil, 4 or 5 times today. He's been able to break free, hasn't he? He's got the ball in space and delivered the ball beautifully. A lot of players have had possessions, but Kerrish for mine is the guy that just breaks free from the congestion and he can hit a target inside 50. And he did it there again. So for mine, he's a real game breaker. He's having a great game so far. And Carlotto deserves that. He's been a workhorse, hasn't he? And he got the one-on-one at the top of the square.
If you look, there's Wagner, and if you could just see that orange thing in his mouth, that's a neomorph mouthguard, which was a prize that we gave him.
It was when we were here and ran the St. Peter's game early in the season.
I think it was a cracking mark he took from memory.
He did. He took a big hanger in front of us down
so
here.
So there you go.
Good on him.
Who will get the neomorph mouthguard magic? Might be Kerrish. I reckon that dash across the middle was pretty special for this kind of condition.
Certainly keen for a beanie so far, Kerrish. He's been a good player.
Yeah, well, that's right. He might get the mouthguard unless Adam overrides with a beanie or a Moseley bar and kitchen voucher. Pretty sure I know which one the players would prefer, I think.
Big couple of minutes coming up here for Payneham. They played a little bit better this quarter, but the next goal to Sacred Heart, Phil, will just be a nice little buffer in the conditions, won't it? Against a team that's so good defensively. You don't want to be 3-4 kicks down against a team that's can strangle you. You want to just be within a kick or 2. 3 and 4 is a bit different.
It's 11 goals. It's 11 points, which doesn't seem like much, but it's a reasonable amount, and even more if it gets to 17. Carlotta managed to have enough strength to get the hand pass out.
Kerrish
a good ground ball. I mean, see, Kerrish is not only athletic and a skillful player. I was about to say he's awful pretty smart. He's got hold in the ball tackle by Altamaro. That was almost a commentary curse before it happened.
That was a good tackle, though. But you don't mind Carey. She's trying to make the play there in the forward 50. Take a chance.
Because when it works, worth its weight in gold. Holding the ball, well, you'll wear those today. About to say, Carey, she's got the long sleeve jumper on. Means we're not going to miss him.
Yes, smart.
The kick towards the Payneham coach's pocket. Going to ground level was Brandon Smith. Umpire says Mabo.
Great endeavour by both players there as well, though, isn't it, Phil? Across the board, no one's taking a backward step today. There's a lot of tackling, a lot of contests. Both teams performing well in that area.
Can't question anyone's endeavour. No one's backed away from a contest yet. You can see it. This is great having on-ground camera with James, our intrepid cameraman. You get a really good feel for the intensity of it. Almost into time on. We've had 5 goals kicked, so it should be, relative to the last one, a longer quarter. And as you can see there, just kept in bounds.
One-on-ones all over the field, Phil. Maybe 4 pairs away, and a lot of people around the ball.
Yeah,
Classic Division 1 football.
Not a loose man anywhere at the moment. Sling tackle, and away we go. Karish finds some room to get the kick towards the 50-metre arc. Carlotto back to Karish. His work rate is outstanding. Now it's an inside 50. It's opened up an extra player, but doing it beautifully was Patrick Sanzo.
That was great play by Sanzo, Phil. He had a choice to make there, didn't he? Stay on your man or go, and he went,
and
saved a certain goal.
You're caught in the indecision and you end up doing nothing.
Nah, he went. That was great play by Sanzo. Because again, if Sacred Heart get the next goal, it's just starting to get, it's not out of reach, is it, by any stretch of the imagination, but Payneham would think they'd have to do something different to get back into the game potentially.
It's also, those goals towards the end of the quarter, especially before halftime, they carry a certain level of momentum with them. So this next goal, it is only worth 6 points, but you feel it's
a big one.
Mentally worth a bit more. Wagner, big third man up. Coe picks it up to 50, and there's another grab. It's amazing how many of those kicks have been
surprised.
Intercept mark, I guess.
Surprised in those situations there, Phil. For mine, if you're on Mackenzie, you've got to drag him to the full forward. You don't want him in that position. Yeah, it's classic. You've got to.
If he's going to mark it, he marks it deep.
Yeah, or he's not even in that position to mark it. You know, so I'll be surprised if that's not talked about at half time.
Have to work out who his opponent is after this turnover. How's that? How's that for a tackle by Costanzi? And rightly so, the Falcon teammates come over and say, way to go, lad.
See, right now, if I'm McAuliffe, I'm taking Mackenzie away from the ball. Just take him away from the ball and test him inside 50.
Instead, he's going to be right in the middle of the contest in a sec.
Maybe they won't mind him here at the stoppage, but you don't want him to be able to just dictate the play as a loose man across half back.
I guess maybe if he's in this contest and shot get a kick, he's not going to be marking it.
So that's a good strategy there by McAuliffe. Either come into the contest or get right away from it.
Just don't be that kick away that he's going to intercept. All right, Falcons ball anyway. They kick it along the balcony wing. Plenty of ricochet. And I'm not so I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing that on replay.
Might have to get Hugo on that. Don't mind this,
once we've had the melee. 25
Not in that, but that's the umpire trying to take a bit of authority. Come on, boys, let's get on with it.
I'm not sure if that tackle started low and went up or whether there was a bit of playing for it.
Maybe a bit of everything. That's okay. Smart play.
Rahu with the kick. Push. Ooh. Falcons free. The balcony goes, ooh. Then they realise it's their free.
Not a lot in that, but the umpire was in a pretty good position and you didn't see a lot of remonstrating. So perhaps it was there. Just a little subtle nudge.
You've got to be careful with that. So Jack Hodges.
This guy can flush the ball. I think we gave him the play of the day early in the season for the 52-metre set shot. So he's got the range.
Yeah, he did.
Does he have the accuracy with a bit of a muddy ball?
So
not easy.
Goals. He's played every game. 2 last time they met. Spent last year in the Roosters reserves. Looks good off the boot.
Has it cleared the line? I think it has.
I reckon
Yep.
It's a goal to Payneham, a critical one at the 23.5-minute mark. That keeps them well in range. 5 points is your difference. The Hunts Portal scoreboard. Sacred Heart Old Collegians 3-6-24. Payneham Norwood Union 3-1-19.
We said the next goal was big, and I feel like it was, Phil.
Yeah, it was.
Just as we're approaching half-time, Payneham will be feeling really good about that. 5 points behind against the second team on the ladder. And it's been a much better quarter of footy, hasn't it? We've seen some nice finishes inside 50. We've seen a little bit more open play. Game on here.
Indeed. You'll give the Falcons credit for their efficiency and their accuracy.
I've only counted 7 entries for 3 goals this quarter, Phil.
Wow, that is exceptional. Usually forward efficiency, it's about 45 to 48%. It's pretty good for a scoring shot.
Yeah.
And I guess where Payneham have made the difference is all 3 of their scoring shots have been for the maximum.
We used to run the numbers on that. If you had 50 entries, you should score 24 times.
Yep.
And you should kick 11 to 12 goals. And it's generally, but yeah, if you can have that quarter where you have 7 entries and 3 goals, it keeps you in the game when perhaps you're not playing as well.
Yeah, it's in a low-scoring affair. But here's a chance for the quick reply.
He's an imposing figure, K Lotto, isn't he? He's so good on the ground. He would have had 6 or 7 ground ball get handballs. Yeah. He's taken 3 or 4 marks, second mark inside 50 for the quarter here. And do we go the commentator's curse, Phil? He's normally a very, very good set shot.
Well, he's just the package. We've seen him, well, I've seen him, you probably have too with me, Adam, a couple of times. Especially late in the game.
Yep.
For a big man, doesn't tire. He's got great fitness. His agility and aerobic capacity at ground level is fantastic. Let's see how he goes straight in front, 40 out.
Commentator's curse.
Did not
on the full
score. Okay. I wonder if that will make it to the coach's tape on Monday.
No, let that go. He's played well. But you see the difference in the game this quarter, Phil. 6 inside 50 marks between both teams, only 1 in the first quarter.
Yeah. The kick, it's a long one. It's got over the back of a pretty big pack. 26 minutes gone. Half time is imminent. We'll take a break. We'll get you some scores around the other grounds in the Adelaide Footy League. I suspect when I was checking the quarter time scores that we're a bit early of the others, just by a few minutes. Given our low scoring, we might get a few back this quarter. Yeah, she's just a slog right now.
You can see Sacred Heart are pretty happy to take this lead in. They wouldn't want Payneham to break free and get a late goal, because I think Sacred Heart, you can see by the scoring shots, it's a slight better of the contest, but it's only a 5-point ball game.
Yep. And that is your half-time siren. And a thrilling contest here at the Payneham Oval. It is Sacred Heart Old Collegians taking a 3-point quarter-time lead, extending it to 5 at the main break, kicking 3 goals to Payneham, 3 straight. The goal scorers, Clayton Simons, Jackson Fox and Alex Carlotto. For Payneham, Jacob Campbell, Jack Hodges and Jackson Martin. We will take a break. Hope you're enjoying the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Do you belong in a role that drives you? In a community that makes you proud? In a team that brings out your best? You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
And welcome back. Yeah, we've got rugged up a little bit. There's your halftime scores across the Adelaide Footy League Division 1. Of course, we're at Payneham in the top left, where Shock 3-6-24 lead Payneham 3-1-19. As always, fascinating results around the league. Adam Jeffries and Phil Herden here. Adam, what particular other game strikes you immediately?
The Tea Tree Gully halftime score is the first one that jumped out. All the other games are relatively tight, aren't they? Although the Rams have had a fair few scoring shots on Broadview. Other games are still up for grab. Golden Grove a little comeback in the second quarter there. But yeah, Port District's finally at home, finding some form, which has been the big surprise in the competition, that Port Districts didn't win their first home game until last week, round 10.
They kicked 5-5-0.
Yeah. So what tends to happen this time of year, Phil, is you get players go on holidays, you get more injuries, you get cold and flu sweep through your clubs, and you can see the teams that have great B-grade teams can come through. Tea Tree Gully's their best 20 players is good enough, but their B-grade have struggled for a few years. So the troops that they can call on to play roles when you've got injury, that's what can cost you in Division 1. There's no real weak links out there. So for mine, that's what can happen to Tea Tree Gully. We saw that last year. They had the lull in the middle, then they came good late when all the players came back, didn't they?
They agree. They look gone for all money at the halfway point. Some of the other ones there, Golden Grove coming back against St. Peter's, and Brighton have flipped the switch on Prince Alfred to lead by 4 points. Another close game at Brighton. Oh, I guess for the Bomber fans that turn up, at least they get entertaining footy. As you can see, the balcony a bit more barren than it was before. Everyone's inside. Like, can I tell you, the temperature difference between inside and outside is marked.
Great MC inside with the raffle draw as well. Caused great excitement amongst the locals. About 50 people with raffle tickets getting around it in there, which is good to see. It's what local footy's all about.
Yep.
The old school meat tray raffle.
So just to repeat the goal scorers for Sacred Heart, they had Clayton Simons, that's going to get me all week now, Jackson Fox and Alex Carlotto. For Payneham Norwood Union, Jacob Campbell, Jack Hodges. A pretty important goal, we think, at about the 23-minute mark. And Brandon Jackson Martin showing off his skills. If you're both coaches keep on keeping on, or any real structural changes needed?
No, I think with the score so close, it won't be till the third quarter that you might see just some little subtle changes in where you put your personnel. Like I said, then the question you ask yourself when you're coaching in little arm wrestle, low-scoring, wet weather games like this is, how can I find a winner inside 50? How can we have a low number of entries, and who can find it? So Lotto was a winner inside 50 as a tall. They haven't really had a small player take hold of the game inside 50 for Sacred Heart. So I'd be looking at maybe, you might rest your prime midfielder in the forward pocket rather than the bench. There's lots of things that you can do. But both coaches had an influence at quarter time, didn't they, Phil? They put away the lateral pass, the extra handball, and got territory and got better entries inside 50. And that's why we saw some marks and some goals in that second quarter.
Yeah, certainly did. Open up from a scoring perspective, which relieves us. Of course, we do thank all our sponsors: Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, and of course Dartfish, who provide the best player on ground. Nearmouth Mouthguards, who support us with the play of the day. Hahn and Sportal giving us the scoreboard. Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, they're covering the interchanges. Farmers Leap Winery, all the coaching manoeuvres. Police Credit Union with the boundary. I look forward to having Lockie back next week. Dartfish Footy Stats, more stats than you can forever deal with.
Do you think Lockie's strategically taking the real cold games off, Phil?
Yeah, there's a point.
Missed a couple, hasn't he?
There's a point. No, yeah, he had some other allocations today, but it's still he's 0 for 2 on the cold ones. And he had a really good run of weather when he started, so he might have something there. And the last one, of course, the Moseley Bar and Kitchen, who provide the team player. We do thank all our sponsors.
Great place
that
to
help
Moseley,
us
Phil.
bring you this. Yeah, I reckon I could do with a spot at the Moseley.
Imagine a
right
wood-fired pizza and a glass of Shiraz.
Yep.
Farmer's Leap Shiraz.
Heck, forget the pizza. I'll just hop in the wood fire.
It is cold here for the people, and there's probably we have a few people watching at home today. When it's this time of year, the viewership at home goes up because should I go to the ground or watch the stream team? I'll watch the stream team. Great coverage from our crew. It's great great spot to watch if you're a Sacred Heart fan, didn't want to travel across or...
And not that we're telling you to leave us, but just to let you know that all the other Division 1 games today are streamed as well. So if you do want to go to YouTube, you can sort of meander, wander around and
split screen on the smart TV at home.
Have all 5 going at once. That'll knock you out. Just having a quick look at just trying to get up.
Gone to the bomb. Are we a threat of rain, Phil, or are we just going to stay
That's
dry
what I'm
and
trying
cold?
to find. I wouldn't have.
Because it doesn't look like it's going to rain.
The
It's
feel
just cold.
says no. No, I think it's all going around us, according to the map. What I'm trying to get is a temperature. Adelaide observations. That should do it. Here we go. So Adelaide West Terrace. It's 11 degrees. Feels like 8. Mount Lofty is currently 5 degrees. That's where I'm heading after the game. It's 5.5 at Mount Lofty. Feels like 2.3. So I'll be going.
Mount Lofty feels like 2 degrees.
This is just the warmer. There's a couple. That's what you do. Get rugged up. Get the extra layers on by different means. But enough of us and our modelling shots. Let's go down to the field because everything is set for the third quarter of action.
No structural changes here, Phil. Both coaches is going with pretty much their starting 18. Let's see what happens in the third quarter.
And at least at the start, it's man on man at both ends, which is good to see. Payneham Norwood Union in the black and white stripes going to the right of your screen. Sacred Heart in the blue heading to the left. Oh!
A bin chicken.
That's an ibis, isn't it?
I call them bin chickens.
Bin chickens. Campbell will get the kick to the 50-metre arc. Darcy Glius met instantly.
Do we give that an inside 50, Phil?
Well,
technically,
the umpire is inside 50. I think you have to.
I'm going to.
Was it all of the ball is over the line kind of thing? Catalano couldn't quite get the hand pass. Got a kick, but only as far as Noble. He kicks it across the cricket pitches. Now there's a chance for Sacred Heart. Opens up nicely for Fox. It's a long kick. The bounce will be fascinating. One-on-one battle. Kept in play. Although throw is the call. Ends up back with the kick around the body, and that is out of bounds on the full. I think that was Hartshorn.
That's the situation there, Phil. I was talking about a move you can make at half time. That's where
Connor.
Hartshorn's in that one-on-one. You'd love to have one of your small ground level players in that position from the quick kick in, and you might bring your tools a little bit higher, something you tend to do on wet weather games.
Because he'll win a share of football, just can he give it to someone to finish it off? Meanwhile, Noble steps in, takes the mark at the 50-metre arc.
Not sure he's got the legs here,
Pretty sure he doesn't.
Just needs a little advantage side kick. You can see Kaylotto in the pocket in a one-on-one, pointing to the space.
Kicks it to Lachlan Hartshorn, top of the square. And how often do we see that?
That's a waste from Hartshorn there.
Yep.
He's never going to score the goal. He's gone deep to the goal line.
What it
Easy to rush through.
Is it? We've gone to 3-7, so it makes it an even one-goal game.
Looking around Giannini, but I dare say he'll take the territory. Don't want to make that error going across goal now.
No, he's played too long. Seeing the ball there dip a little bit. I haven't seen too much in the way of penetrating kicks.
No, that ball.
Either.
They should change the ball. Get a fresh ball like tennis. But we use
new balls, please.
Yeah, new balls, please. I always thought at halftime maybe could you get a new football. I think they use the same one throughout the match, and trust me, Phil, it tends to get a little bit heavier.
Yeah, like kicking a wet brick.
Yeah, and those guys that can usually kick at 50 can only kick at 40, 45. It just drops that 5 metres short every time.
Yeah, and sometimes the players don't recognise that when they're taking their shots for goal.
Yes, coach killer.
Lovely
on the
pick
line.
up and kick on the far side of the field. The bounce eludes. That's an inside 50. Quickly repelled by the Falcons. Now it's into space. As it's kicked sort of in the middle and everyone's on the southeastern wing. Over the shoulder, Falcons free.
Smart play not to carry on with the advantage there. You see some players get excited and want to go. Take the set kick.
So it's downfield with Nye. He gets the quick hand pass on. Long kick to the square by Brad McKenzie. only one problem. There was no one in black and white within cooey of that one.
Hard to be critical of Mackenzie. He's been a really good player today, but that wasn't his best choice, was it? He really had to kick the ball 65 metres to clear that Sacred Heart defender.
A couple of wasted inside 50s. The difference is Sacred Heart did at least score a point. Got some return. Shirley's grab and hand pass went awry.
So this is better here. I think, is it McAuliffe?
Wheel number
yeah, it is
one.
McAuliffe's going to be the deepest forward here. I'd be bringing my tools up and just getting a ground level player inside
I'll tell
50.
you what, someone's watching. Oh no, Mackenzie is just sitting there. Yeah, he's perfectly positioned. Any kick out of that contest, and Mackenzie's perfectly positioned to get it.
They probably don't mind him being at the stoppage, though. You don't want him marking those quick kicks away. So he's a little bit close for mine, Mackenzie. I'd be drifting back in front of Kailotto right now if I was him. Can't really impact the game where he is.
Actually,
go back 20 yards.
They've changed opponents, so it's actually... I was watching Henry McAuliffe. There's a Will and a Henry. And Henry is actually the kick behind. It's Coe who's got the job on Mackenzie, or we're standing next to him momentarily. Rankin over around the ball. Kick around the body. Now let's see if they can move it with a bit of speed here. Maybe not.
Been pretty good, Noble, hasn't he? A couple of marks around the ground, a lot of hit-outs. Like I said, he plays a really important role for this team, Phil. It allows them to keep Kailotto forward, which is huge.
Simons on to Darcy Glius. Looks all recovered based on that kick. That was an inside 50, albeit momentarily. Tapped out of bounds. And I think Harrison Viney needs just to check the rule book that it's last disposal, not last touch. And
not soccer.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got to be a kick or a hand pass. A tap is not a disposal.
We still want to keep the boundary umpires employed, don't we?
Well, yeah, and we got to take a breath occasionally.
Yes. Take the advantage here. They've got an open field for Wagner.
There was no one inside Payneham Noah Juniors 50. Now there's about 6 to 8.
See, again, that's the forward craft of a young player. If I'm Wagner, I'm not leading there. Yeah. Just kick the ball in long to me. Just give me a one-on-one.
How the half-forward flank to the right is all muddy and the one to the left is pretty decent. That must just be a training drill thing, you would think. Of course, the
kids warming up.
No rest for the Oval because Sandford Juniors tomorrow.
Yes.
And that'll be going from dawn, not quite till dusk, but there'll be another level of wear and tear. Look at the stretch by Catalano. Here's the run of Kerish. Did he take a bounce?
And he's found his
target.
He's
found Fox. That is your Neomouth Guards magic moment. That's going to be hard to beat. Taking a bounce and leading to what should be and is a goal. I'm not sure if Hugo can go that far back. Was my eyes deceiving me, Adam? Did he take a bounce?
He did take a bounce. I'd like to get a replay. That would be the first bounce in the game
bit
today.
Too far back.
But
It'd be the one and only bounce, I reckon.
Kerish has been the difference between the two teams, really.
Yeah.
He's the one player that's been able to consistently find space and deliver the ball to forwards.
I mean, that's where the mark, and we talked a little bit in the second quarter about the mark and the hand pass.
Yeah.
Kerish was in a position he wasn't going to be caught.
Yeah, and he's the guy that you don't mind giving the handball receive to. I still would prefer to see it, but Kailotto's a great decision maker, isn't he? He knew that Kerish had the yards to go. Great play by Sacred Heart.
Two players with Sandford experience, showing that as Fort Noble got the ball and then completely lost his footing. That one was pretty much self-inflicted. Is that it is? Noble? Yeah, pretty much self-inflicted. Oh, they're going everywhere. It's that little tiny bit of grass.
There is. It's the cricket pitch stripped right through the middle there. That's in good order. It's weird. Normally the whole square is mud.
Back in round one, it would be as hard as a rock. Now it's the
free
little
kick
piece of paradise.
Here. Need to defend here now, Payneham. They don't want to concede the next goal to Sacred Heart. Young McDermott with the free kick.
Yep, 12 points is a game high. Fox, by the way, has 2 goals.
Surprised McDermott come to that spot. I would have just been getting the ball inside 50 and putting Payneham under immediate pressure there, but it's worked for them.
Just wonder if some point the talls can have an impact.
Carlotta looks likely a lot. He's getting some one-on-ones, isn't he? Mackenzie's been caught up and hasn't been able to drift back as the spare. Now they need a front and square player in front of the big fellow who's creating some good crumbs and spills in the forward 50.
A lot of the former South Adelaide ruckman. That's another tap to his career tally. And intercepted by Lachlan Hartshorn. Hartshorn from Victor Harbour. Some time in South Adelaide's system. Every time Payneham Norwood Union try to clear, it ends up with blue at the forward 50. This is Joe Gluyas on to Braun. Braun now within scoring range. Kick in hope is not 15. Umpire called that pretty quickly.
7 inside 50s to 2 now for Sacred Heart. So they're peppering away. Again, Payneham, they've defended really well today. Lost the inside 50 count by a fair bit. Only conceded the 4 goals so far.
Just soccering it for the moment. Anytime you pick it up, you're going to get tackled. Nowhere to move with the ball.
Just to give you some numbers there, Phil, as well, it's 30 inside 50s to 16 for the match. So that is a bit of a discrepancy. Really it was Paynham's 3 goals in the second quarter that's kept it close.
And
but
the score is 31 to 19, so it's not that far off reflecting point for point, is it?
No. But it does show that Sacred Heart have just had the slight better of the contest as they go inside 50 again.
Yes, that's
mark that.
That's 30 metres up and about 10 metres across. Let's try that again. Soccer off the ground is going to be a behind. For a brief moment.
So they need to get some territory here, Payneham. They need to get the ball out. So they need a big contest from Viney and Wagner on the wing. Mackenzie's got the leg to play on out of the square.
The same question I asked last quarter. When was the last, or first quarter? When was the last time Payneham had an inside 50?
No, they had a couple early in this quarter, but last 10 minutes have been all Sacred Heart.
So running away with it is Mackenzie. He must feel a little bit under siege at the moment, and he better get ready again because the ball's going to come right back at him.
Great mark from Tapp, who's not normally a great short pass. He's better off just getting some territory here, the big fella, as he does.
Which he does. Big packet 50. Sanzo with the kick. It's
take 2
Tapp
for Tapp.
again.
Looking to give the handball to a runner. A lot of numbers now, so it's tough for Sacred Heart to take them out. And they're smalls to get involved.
There is no one the Payneham side of centre. And I reckon 28 of the 36 are inside the 50-metre arc.
Here's a chance now. Just they need to composure here. Wait 5 or 10 seconds for the forwards to reset, Phil. Take some territory. Get a contest.
Tyler Sporker. One of the new guard. And look, Payneham Norwood Union, it is a new era here. Their squad that was announced on Thursday had 8 players who played their first A-grade game this year, another 2 that played their first last year. So that's almost half the A-grade side who started playing A's here in the last 2 seasons.
They are in a little bit of a, it's not really rebuilding in local footy, is it though, Phil? But they are, their list is so much different to what it was 3 or 4 seasons ago. They were a Division 1 juggernaut for about 7 or 8 years, had their 1 year down in Division 2. Thought Jeremy Cheney did a great job with their team last year to get them straight back up. A lot of clubs don't bounce straight back.
No.
And I think they'll do well enough to stay in Division 1 again.
Well, we all thought it'd almost be academic that Goodwood would be straight back up.
Not at this stage.
On the edge of playing finals. I mean, they're not overly done yet, but not as easy for them as they may have thought. Almost as hard as a Falcon forward 50,
Get
which
one
they
there,
get,
but
not
straight
for
out
long.
it comes.
Now, can they work it out here? They did that well. Catalano went for the player. Sanzo went for the ball. Got it back to Mackenzie, who shows good poise under pressure. And we sit with Dodson pretty much in the centre of Payneham Oval. His kick for Nye. Tapp went for the spoil and missed. Pushing and shoving, and Hearts have it. Wagner, the infringer, he just doesn't know why.
I think he's paid it for jumping a bit too early, a little bit stiff there, because we want to encourage players to jump at the ball.
False start. Basically, yes. not the greatest kick, but it's actually going to end up effective. Chain of hand passes. Sacred Heart move it from half back to half forward. Fox has had his moments today with 2 goals in a game which has only had 7. Will be a throw-in in front of the Payneham bench. One of our boundary umpires today. No pressure. I never have any pressure when cameraman James is in the vicinity.
Beautifully done.
Oh, some beautiful aerial ping pong at its finest. The loose player is Coe by the boundary. He'll swing to the top of the square. Ground level. The ball just stops dead in the mud. And Payneham will clear desperately. Looked like a good build-up. Davidson picks it up. He's tackled. No prior opportunity. Ball up between the arc and the attacking edge centre square for Shock, who have a 13-point lead, a game high 13-point lead and 14 and a half gone of what has become again a low-scoring quarter. Just the 1 goal
So
kick.
6 goals in the second quarter, but just the 1 in the first and the third quarters.
I often find what happens is that you have this really exciting high-scoring first quarter, and then the coaches get to them at quarter time, make some adjustment, and the scoring dries up. It worked in reverse today, but obviously half-time might have tightened a few things up. Rankin, was that Rankin it with the tap? Because Noble's down in the mud. He's looking a bit wary.
Hasn't really had a rest, has he, Noble? He's gone pretty much most of the day.
Not that we've noticed.
We haven't seen Cadlutto or Hartshawn do any ruck work so far. Maybe Hartshawn for a couple of minutes, that's about it.
Might see something. Oh, there's that for a bit of luck. The kick, the pass, the hand pass, and the shot by Henry McAuliffe misses. It was Coe who picked up the ricochet kick.
Be disappointed with that, McAuliffe. He's been buzzing around looking for that opportunity, hasn't he?
Yep.
And he just couldn't quite finish it. But that's what happens if their small forwards start to get involved, Phil. There'll be a lot of trouble for Payneham.
He was their leading goal kicker with 17 coming into today. And the kick in. We'll be out of bounds. That, mind you, that point makes it, 14 points. A slowly increasing game high margin.
They are soaking up the pressure, Payneham, so if they can get the next goal, they'll back themselves for a little late run in this game. We've seen weird things happen at this ground before, Phil.
Yeah. Next goal takes it from 14 to 8 or out to 20.
Perhaps could have got a push in the back there, but out of bounds on the full. I think there was a game here, Payneham were 5 goals down at the 20-minute mark of the last quarter against Prince Alfred. Came back and won.
That one.
Yeah,
that was
an amazing one.
Absolutely remarkable.
Would have been tough doing your awards and best players. You would have had all marked down from the team that was in front.
I'm not sure it was the 20-minute mark. It was probably halfway through.
It was a late flurry, though, wasn't it?
It was late, absolutely. Yeah. I think they were down by the 5 goals. They got it back to within maybe 3, and then they kicked the 3 with a absolute flurry.
This is the one that Payneham were looking for, the turnover in the middle of the ground. Can they make them pay?
Well, Shock showing that their tackling skills. Interesting approach. I think that was from Tap. He'd been obviously watching the State of Origin Rugby League on Wednesday. Picked it up and ran with it. Oh,
great play.
Simmons, look at that. And in the end, we'll give away the free, but
bit unlucky there.
Giving a bit of time and territory.
Simons, he was made the play there, but the last touch rule caught him out.
Oh my glory be. Carlotta has a chance to run interference on this, which he lays the first tackle. Cavalry's arrived. Here's McAuliffe. He's going to be tackled now. Interesting.
Again, it's easy in the commentary box, isn't it, Phil? But it's not really the kick. They want to get the ball in Mackenzie's hands, but that's a risky play.
I mean, it's not just easy because we're not doing it. It's also easy because we can see a bit more of the forest.
And it's more the state of the game. If they concede a turnover goal there, Payneham, it's a long way back.
That would have been...
Great tackle there from Wagner.
Well, they're hanging on. Problem for Payneham as it was. So at the moment, Payneham have scored a total of 1 behind to the southwest end in this game. Well, they got a chance here to go forward. Viney with a strong mark.
First mark he's been able to take today, Viney. That was great body work, great contested mark, and great composure waiting for his forwards to reset. Looking short and lateral, not sure.
A man with many footy jumpers, I'd run at a time telling you, Viney.
See, that's a much better play for Viney. Even if you turn the ball over here, you can defend, Phil. If you turn the ball over in the mud, down she goes.
Kristanzik tries the penetrating kick. Nicely read off hands by Campbell. Finds some space. Oh my goodness, my car's in jeopardy. And just missed. I parked that car in that pocket thinking, no one's going to kick it there.
Need to lock the ball in here now, Payneham, Phil. Get a couple of re-entries.
Yeah, something that Sacred Heart have been able to do very well.
Sure,
they're going to get an easy clearance here. Sanderson
might have an injury to their ruckman here, Sacred Heart. Maybe he's just a bit knackered, but I think Noble's needing a quick little spell.
I think he needs a rest. The changes thanks to Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic. Another high kick. How many times have we seen those today? Especially marked by the opposition. Brad McKenzie, how many marks has he had today?
He's had a fair bit of the ball, McKenzie.
Dartfish footy stats will tell you if we're coded in the game.
They'll just be disappointed, Payneham. They got the deep entry and then Sacred Heart were able to just clear the ball to their half-forward line really quickly.
It was a bit easy, wasn't it? Jack Hodges had it, lost it. Right in front of the coaches, trying to impress. The 2 9s at it. Throw in. We're in time on.
So now it's an important 6 or 7 minutes, Phil. It will barely be that. It'll be a 25-minute quarter at the most.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say if Sacred Heart get a goal before three-quarter time, it's going to be a long way back. But if Payneham can just find it, I think they can sneak a late victory here. So a big 5 minutes.
And even 14 points if you're heading it and you're kicking to the scoring end, which seems to be the case.
Doesn't feel that windy here, though, does it?
No. Tom McDermott with the wrap-up tackle of Altamare. Carlotta, deft little tap only as far as Altamare. Will be another stoppage. 21 minutes gone. Three-quarter time will get you some scores around the ground.
Surprised that Kay Lotto's gone on the ball. I'd have put Hartshorn on the ball and left Kay Lotto inside 50. I just think he's a real match winner down there.
Yeah, at the moment he's getting the taps all read by the Falcons. Or was that touched? That's unfortunate for Cooper Brinkworth, who took what looked to be a pretty easy mark, and then it was touched off the boot.
He's paid a slam tackle. The unofficiating out-of-zone umpire there has said that was a dangerous tackle.
Yep. Brinkworth goes back to go forward. I guess why you wouldn't kick sideways there. Tap avoids the charging Bauer. And I've worked it from side to side here. And Simons has it.
He's had a lot of the ball today, Simons, hasn't he? He's been a good player. Half back, half forward, his work rate's been really good.
And, if you put a little heat seeker on him, what was it called, the hot map or whatever?
Yeah.
Each other to get them in all parts of the ground too. Oh, that's a fly out of nowhere. Who was that guided missile?
Not sure who that was.
I think that was Joe Glias, I think. Hartshorn, you got your wishes in ruck. There's Glias again on the contest. On the shoulder, over the shoulder, and it will be Falcons ball, courtesy of Tommy Wagner.
Hasn't been able to get into the game up forward today. Obviously, they're having a lot of inside 50s. Hadayfield has been a great goal scorer this year, but playing well as a tall ruck rover.
Yep. Almost 23 gone. According to Adam, we won't go over 25. We'll see if that happens. Another inside 50 for Sacred Heart, who've absolutely dominated them this quarter. Trying to break the free player. It'll kick to the top of the square. Clean pickup, and they got half a chance.
Yeah.
And there's the break they needed.
Yeah.
Henry McAuliffe finished it. But that was well set up by Sacred Heart. We'll get the replay, and we'll have a look at the player that took it and just freed up McAuliffe. They worked it out in the end.
It's not a fancy play by Hartshorn, the big second ruckman, but to take it cleanly and get the handball to the smaller player McCullough's been buzzing around waiting for that one, hasn't he? Missed one early in the quarter, but nailed that one. And dare we say, Phil, that's a big goal for Sacred Heart, who've been dominant. 13 inside 50s to 5 for the quarter,
Well,
Phil.
Payneham got the big goal they had to get before half-time, I reckon. It was also at the 23-minute mark. I reckon Sacred Heart just, if it's not the seal, it certainly puts them in the box seat.
This makes Coach Cheney, he's going to have to just maybe look to move a couple of magnets now at three-quarter time.
Yeah.
I'd be looking, maybe Mackenzie needs to play higher and at half forward or around the ball, just to try something different.
Meanwhile, we're in the middle. That's Bauer, who was late replacement for Nick Kelly. That ball looking particularly sodden, with a tinge of brown about it now. And we'll only get more sodden. So is the umpire allowed to dry it? Or is it just whatever it is, it is?
It is. He just grabs it and throws it. The players try to, don't they?
Yeah. Simons again. All right. Throw in.
Same band
According
umpire
to
getting the work.
Adam, although I guess I should give you another 30 seconds for the extra goal.
Won't be a long quarter though, will it? So just got to defend here, Payneham.
2-0 for the Hearts this quarter. Looking around the ground, everybody has an opponent. Or maybe. Karish, he was about to take off then. He had the space, just ended up not having the football. Simons has to go left, go right, go left. And Catalano's checking, do I have any ankles left?
It's great defensive mark.
Dodson.
Great body work by Dodson. Much needed as well, Phil, can I say.
So if you were doing the Falcons' best players, as Sparkle, here's their chance. Davidson from centre wing towards an openish forward line. Payneham, Norwood, you need a late one. The siren is imminent. For the moment, Lachlan Hartstrong got a hand pass. Another turnover. Darcy Gluyas got it, and there's a throw. Payneham ball. I don't want to muck around with this too much.
Hodges can kick a long ball, but this would be a big kick with a heavy football, Phil.
Yeah, but look at the run-up. Man on the mark is standing on the 50-metre arc. Sometimes players stand back a bit and then run up. And this will be a kick after the siren. It is 20-point lead to Sacred Heart. It's going to be close, but short. No score. And that is lemon time. The last break of this one. Sacred Heart, Old Collegians, 5-9-39. 2-0 that quarter. Payneham Norwood Union, 3-1-19. Did not score that third quarter. You're with Adam Jeffries, Phil Herden, and the Filming Footy crew. Hope you're enjoying the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back. That's the scene in the Sacred Heart Old Collegians huddle, 3/4 time here. Hearts looking the goods, 5-9-39, Payneham just 3-1-19. What's an expected low-scoring day? What would you be doing if you're the Payneham coach to try and get back in this footy contest?
So there's two facets to it. You've got to get to your players and let them believe that you can still win, which you can. It's only 20 points, Phil, so we've seen bigger margins overhauled, even though it's been a low-scoring game. So you've got to make your players believe. But you've probably got to look at the magnet board for the first time and just find a winner around the ball and find a winner inside 50. You know, who's a player that can kick 3 or 4 goals in a quarter? We haven't seen a lot of Matty Nunn today. I'm not sure if he's injured or whether he has just not been able to find a lot of the ball. Mackenzie's a player that's got a lot of the ball across half-back, but it hasn't hurt the opposition. He hasn't had a lot of the ball up the field. So you're just looking maybe to move some magnets and just find something around the ball and something inside 50.
Alrighty, we've got some scores around the grounds. I've got all bar Glenunga and Broadview, and I did have Glenunga a fair way in front. I think Glenunga are 55 points in front. I'll confirm that in a sec. Here's your boil over. Brighton Bombers are leading Prince Alfred by 37 points.
That's a big third quarter for Brighton then, isn't it?
That's a big third quarter, 41-8. St Peter's and Golden Grove, a big game also in the relegation battle, especially if they hear that Brighton score. St Peter's have led most of the day, 21 at the first, 12 at half. They lead by 11 points.
That's going to be a good finish, that one, isn't it? Stay with us, but if
yeah.
Brighton do win, Phil, that just makes the ladder even more congested, really,
Exactly
doesn't
right.
it? There's no team going away.
Because then 3 wins is the
draw.
worst record.
And they've got the draw as well, Brighton.
Yeah, so 3.5. Port District and Teachers Gully. Looks like District will keep hold of third easily. They lead Teachers Gully by 54 points. So at this point, 4th, 5th, and 6th and 7th are the losers.
Yep.
So that logjam doesn't change. It just adds an extra
I don't
loss.
think the logjam will change much. It's just going to be where you fit at the end of round 18, isn't it?
It is.
That last round's going to be a ripper because we'll go to round 18, Phil, and there'll be a lot on the line.
Yep.
You could finish third or ninth.
Well, I have heard a rumour. Because I'm not here for the finals this year.
You'll be sadly missed, Phil.
I will. I'll be tuning in from an ocean away. But I believe we might have a special guest for the handover for the last round. So we hope it's chaotic because he's the man that brings chaos. So
Not the chaos man.
I might get him to call the footy and I'll keep track of the other scores. It's getting a bit dark here as well. I wonder if they'll put the lights on at some point. That Hans Sportal scoreboard certainly lighting up. And of course, Adam, during this quarter you have the job of working out our prizes, the Archie's footwear, the Belgravia apparel New Balance voucher, and the iconic Dartfish beanie. Best on ground, the Airmoth mouthguards for the magic moment.
I think I'm there, Phil. We'll see what happens in
there?
the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let it play out for another 10 or 15 and see if Payneham can make a run. It's only 20 points the difference. Let's see what can happen.
Well, you can see, I think the light filter is working overboard at the moment. The Falcons will get the first touch, a soccer into the northern pocket. And in the end, Lachlan Hartshorn happy to take it over.
So if you're Sacred Heart as well, you just don't want to give Payneham a sniff in the first 5. If Payneham get a goal in the first 2 or 3, it really builds belief. So Sacred Heart, the coach would have been asking for a big effort to start this last quarter and snuff out the opposition's belief that they can win.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here they go though, Payneham.
Missed the player with the kick, but it's a goal.
Is that the first gamer potentially?
I
Phil?
reckon it is. Look
They're
at him
all
get
getting
around
to
him.
Just as we were saying, an early goal can build momentum. Look what it does. Phil.
Yep.
The first gamer, everyone gets around. 14 points the difference. That's a huge goal and well worked around the boundary line.
No, it's Sparkle.
It was Sparkle. I thought it was 27 the first gamer, but great goal. Great shot on the run. Great for Payneham. Game on. I'll hold fire on my award winners, Phil.
Okay. Well, 4-1-25 are the Falcons. Shocker 5-9-39, 14 points the difference. They had to get the first one, and they have. Now they have to get the next one.
Still hard to see them having sort of a 4 or 5 goal quarter, but they're capable of it, Phil.
Well, they had a 3-goal quarter, and that would put them in range. They need a 4-goal quarter, trailing by 20 plus points. Well, last time though we saw Payneham score, Shock got a quick reply, and that's sort of what they're setting up to do here. It's inside their forward 50
Great
yard.
tackle.
How's that for a tackle from Sam Scrimger?
Now, that's not a real highlight, but that was a magnificent tackle.
We've seen some really good tackles today. It's
thought
been
that,
the conditions for it.
McAuliffe would get free there. That was a great tackle.
Well, this is also where the fatigue will set in because it's one thing to run around on a footy ground all day. It's only when you're running almost on the spot through mud pits and slosh and so forth.
And we don't have our boundary rider here today, Phil, but I'm sure that none that was injured in the first half, and we have not seen him in the second half. So we might have to get a report from Payneham.
If that's the case, I thought we
on
might
that.
have seen him on the bench. Maybe when we get our next Payneham bench shot, we'll have maybe get a wider view.
Our usual boundary rider would have been sitting next to him, interviewing him at
I was
this
about
point.
to say, it is a Shock free kick, and it looks like one of the McAuliffes.
So there's two McAuliffes in the small forward region.
Correct.
Isn't it?
So I'm not going to guess. I'm going to see a number, and I reckon that might have been number 1. Because
Which is Will McAuliffe.
I need not just the binoculars, I need the night vision.
Payneham have turned the lights on here, Phil, at the Oval.
Oh,
we'll have a
thank
night
goodness for
game
that.
soon.
The kick is close and knocked over, and it was Will McAuliffe at number 1. So the brightness that you are seeing on your screen is not the brightness that we have
It is
here at
dark
Payneham.
here.
That said, the lights are only just coming on, so not taking full effect. Tackle out of bounds, you can see the interchange area. There's the cone that we had the introductions. It's almost getting a bit misty and foggy here.
Yes, it is. It's not raining.
No.
It's just like
Has not-
icy cold.
Has not rained this afternoon. Certainly rained overnight and probably rained a fair bit here this morning. Karish, that was clever. Forces the stoppage. So the more that Sacred Heart can just keep it at this end of the field, keep Payneham away from it. I reckon they're pretty much one goal away from closing the door on this one. And they'll have a chance to go forward here. The mark taken by Tom McDermott. Tries to find a dry spot somewhere.
Lovely long kick.
Yeah, that's good penetration, and here's your chance to close it.
It's been a good matchup. Dodson v. Dodson's had his moments too, hasn't he, Phil? They've been in a lot of contests,
Yeah.
Dodson and Carlotto, but Carlotto certainly
Well,
that
Dodson,
was a towering mark, really, in the conditions. It looks on the screen, it looks easy. That was a really good mark.
well, Dodson's best on ground last week in their win over Golden Grove. But it's all eyes on Carlotto, who missed the first, and, well, the first one didn't score. He's getting closer. It is a behind.
Has he scored a goal yet today, Carlotto? He's kicked one. He
he's
kicked one
kicked
in
one.
the second. Yeah, he's been the dominant forward, really, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just
he
for the one
always-
goal. He
in
doesn't
the
kick
game-
big bags, does he?
But in
He's
the games
capable
that
of
I've
it.
seen Sacred Heart win, he usually dobs one or two late.
Yep.
I guess you don't get shorter during the course of a game.
Nah, he's been a great player today. He does like the awards spread around, being the coach. But yeah, he's been. He doesn't always put himself in the votes, but he's a great player in this competition.
16 scoring shots to 5. Another inside 50 to Hearts. Carlotto tries for the mark. This time he'll play defender. The ball spills free about 30 metres out.
In the back.
Certainly it's an easier game to call off the camera, I should say, at the moment.
It is dark.
Yeah. Because we
If you were Sacred Heart and the umpire said you want to go off a bad light like in cricket, you'd take that, wouldn't you, and just take the win.
you take that. Of course, Duckworth Lewis. We lost the Duckworth half of that during the week.
If Sacred Heart, if they did the Duckworth Lewis system in football, they'd go to the inside 50 count and say, your game, Sacred Heart.
That's pretty much. We're going to come back and you'll have 90 seconds to score 4 goals or something. Sacred Heart, they've really shortened the length of this ground. We've been playing it. Oh, that's a little high.
Is that McAuliffe again? Not sure which one it is, but let's just say between the McAuliffes,
It's the other one.
They've had a good second half.
Yeah, so Henry's kicked one. Will's had a couple of shots.
I called for it early in the third quarter, Phil. I thought their talls were having to do all the work inside 50, and I was calling on one of their smalls to really get involved, and they've done that.
Yeah.
And this can be a sealer early in the last quarter.
Yeah, this would definitely be it.
6 inside 50s to 1, Phil. Payneham with the 1 goal from the 1 entry.
Caller comes in at the foot of the light tower. Will they stop picking on my car?
You see how tricky it is now, even guys with good skills, 30, 35 metres out. It's very tricky with that heavy ball.
Yeah, and as part of it as well, trying to get some decent footing. But McCauliffe redeems himself in a pretty good way. Creates the spoil with just gut running.
And you know what I like about that? This is why Sacred Heart are a good defensive team. All the play, they celebrated it like it was a goal.
Yeah.
You know, but they've kept the ball inside 50, and then that's the sort of players that'll win finals for them later in the season.
Payneham can't win if it's down the centre of the ground, where it has been, as you've noted, consistently. There won't even be another inside 50 count, but it's as good as soccer off the ground. Carlotta with the hand pass. This time didn't set it up. Umpire says Payneham free. They'll just play on advantage. So here come the Falcons. They're going to go down the middle on this occasion. Try to get the bounce and the run. They do! Suddenly with 2 kicks, they're inside forward 50. Here's a race for pace. Tap is there in support. Not needed. Kick comes around the corner, finds McDermott. McDermott happy to head for the balcony boundary. Picked up by Moore. To the half-forward flank. McKenzie. Couldn't take the mark, not paid. Doesn't matter. Falcons have it. They need a grab here. Doesn't matter. Ricochet to Campbell. Beautifully done by Otamore.
Is that shinned out of bounds, or is that called touch? It almost looked like he smothered it with his shin, but the umpire's going to call.
I reckon they're going to pay the smother benefit of the doubt and throw it in.
This is why, again, Sacred Heart, I'm impressed with Phil. You know, they haven't taken their foot off the throat at all, have they? Their defensive pressure acts in this last 5 minutes have been really, really good.
And their forwards play pretty good defence as well.
You know, it's been a tricky day, but they've only had 5 scoring shots, Phil. Amazing.
And it's probably lucky. Is it lucky? I don't know.
Payneham kicked accurately.
Yeah.
They've had the 1 rush behind and 4 accurate shots on goal.
They have not missed a shot, have they? But they've only taken 4. At this point, we've got Falcons free.
Door is still ajar if they can kick a goal soon.
Don't know about that. Oh, yeah, 9 minutes maybe. Wagner, long way from home. Thought for a sec that was going to straighten up. But one thing I'm noticing about that pocket from where we are, it's further to home than it looks.
Yes.
I think when they pick it up and hit, yeah, it's not too far, but then you realise.
And the kick looks online, but it's 20 metres short.
Correct.
But they've got a ball in a good position here. They'll be looking to find a little high tackle if they can. Get in
that's
first.
what they were trying to do.
Good umpiring so far. Not having any of that.
Gee, good luck calling who's got it. All of that. Oh dear. I can tell you it's not even Campbell doing. Who's that? Oh, that's Jack Hodges. Okay. Noble has done a mountain of work. Not sure he got the tap on this. No, good luck if you're a goal umpire working that out.
This is where it's difficult to do, but if you're Payneham, you've got to actually release guys away from the ball here and actually let Sacred Heart do a hack kick into your numbers, and then you can go back in again. It's impossible to get a snap-on goal here. We've had a quick little kick.
Commentary curse! There's the debutant got a kick away, but smothered. And eventually even Sacred Heart will concede a score. That will hurt later.
2 rush behinds, 4 straight shots on goal.
Payneham still haven't missed.
Sure, Hartshorn won't take any risks here. Long and strong out to the wing.
Well, we've had 9 goals kicked in this game. 6 of them were in 1 quarter. We've gone 0, 6, 2 and 1.
They just need 1 sealer, don't they, Sacred? Just
to
put it away.
Or have we? No, it was the 1 goal was Paynham's, that's right. Trying to make it 2 in a row. Out of bounds. Next week, these 2, they're all big matches. That's tight competition, but Payneham Norwood Union at Tea Tree Gully. Right now that's 4th versus 5th, and both may be staying 4th and 5th, but coming off a loss. Whereas Sacred Heart at the senior school hosts St. Peter's Old Collegiate. So another one for the school ties.
Just a report as well, Phil. Fremantle beat the Sydney Swans by 1 point at the SCG today. So there's an upset. You always get upsets in June and July.
Well, we were talking about an upset here. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Although, to be honest, Payneham have had a decent couple of minutes where they've had the forward 50 entries, but now Shock on the rebound. And Carlotto and Dodson have been battling with each other all day, and Carlotto's given away the free in the back just a
little
he thought
nudge.
We might get a last disposal
It's
free.
like a little nudge in the bum the umpire paid there.
Dodson spots up Catalano.
Got all exits covered here at the moment.
Giannini. And this is where it gets tough, so he'll go back inboard, needs to sit. It's just not that kind of day where it's going to sit. How's that from Noble?
And a great mark.
And of course it's an effective kick. Of course it is.
This will be again, Kakura will take his time. Very difficult shot for goal, 51 metres with a heavy ball. Be interested to see what he does.
Well, he spent a year at Achunga, spent some time with the Eagles in 2020.
Been a good player for Sacred Heart for a long time.
But
Kakura kicked
is
a lot
a
of
Sacred
goals.
Heart lad. From the edge of 50, the kick will fade and be marked.
So that breeze really took the ball from the left to
You
the
can
right
tell
post
it
there.
feels like it's been blowing into us all day, and that kick reflects that.
There's been how many goals kicked to this end, Phil?
We don't have an end to that end. I think two.
They kicked a couple in the second quarter.
They kicked two in the third.
Yeah.
And 3 in the second, so 5. 5 of the 9.
We seen, was it check side from this spot earlier in the day? What can he do?
Okay,
Yeah, he's kicked
it. There's your ball game. There is your ball game. Cooper Hartshorn gets his first after threatening all day. Let's have a look at the replay. They've actually kicked 2 goals from here. They've done it pretty well.
Yeah, and you could. I know it's only halfway through the last quarter. You can call that a seal. That's again not an easy kick, Phil. The check side. It looks easy when it comes off, but we see so many players spray them on the wrong side of the boot. But a great shot there by Hartshorn. It's been a pretty handy target up forward, hasn't he? He's a role as a second ruck sort of decoy, but he's been handy up there today.
Let me correct myself. 4 goals kicked to the right of screen. That was the 4th. 6 goals kicked to the left.
So not
of
as bad
screen.
as I thought. Payneham have struggled to kick a goal to the right.
Yep. All right. So with this, Glenunga were looking like they were going to be pretty easy winners. The only game that was really close of note was St. Peter's Golden Grove with big relegation ramifications. All the other ones, it was Port District by 9 goals, Glenunga by about 9 goals, Brighton in a major shock by about 6 goals. Here it's...
I tipped that one, Phil, the Brighton one. Thank
you.
you.
Tipped the Brighton, you did. I mean, you've been tipping so many upsets, it was going to happen.
If I tip 10 upsets, one will come off.
Is this... Oh, we won't get into gambling. We
Payneham.
won't get into gambling
I tipped
philosophy.
Payneham to win this game, didn't I, too?
Yeah.
And they've had 4 shots on goal. Again, just good defensively, Sacred Heart.
Well, they're going to have another one where they've, at the moment, held Payneham to 4 goals. So you look at what they've done. They held Teacher Gully to 4 goals. We were there for that.
Yep.
Held St. Peter's to 9. Brighton to 4. Prince Alfred to 4. Teacher Gully to 5. And Payneham to 4. And if you say defence wins championships, the game they lost to Glenunga, they only allowed 6. And it was that one outlier where Port District's got 21 scoring shots and kicked 16 goals.
Which was an outlier because Port Districts have struggled to score themselves, haven't they? And just in that game.
Although today they seem to be doing all right.
Might just be finding a little bit of mojo, Port Districts, in the last couple of weeks. Who are, we've talked about Glenunga, Sacred Heart, but Port Districts have the cattle and the capability of challenging them, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. On their day, I mean, just as Prince Alfred in 2022.
We came from 5th to the grand final.
Well, I think Prince's did, but it was District's defence that
won the season, really.
Won the season, yeah. Back to here. And this game is sort of reaching an inevitable conclusion.
The other thing you might look to do as a coach now, Phil, you never preempt it, but if you've got 2 or 3 guys who are just so important to your structure, like if I'm Coach Carlotto, I'm coming up and putting a bit of ice on the shins or something like that, because you just don't want an injury to a key player. You don't want an injury to any player. But every team has more important structural players than others. Can be a ruck, or you could be a small team and you can't afford to lose at all.
You probably won't get the chance to, but we have not cited Matty Nunn.
No, we don't know. We're not sure what's going on there. We certainly must have come off injured.
He's just not. It's not that we. Sometimes as a player you just sort of miss, especially when they're the in and under guy.
No, but he's a guy that stands out.
But we have not seen him, and he's certainly not in the middle at the moment. Not that I think you'll be talking to anyone from Prince Alfred in your post-game presentations, which we encourage you to stick around for. Because what we'll try and do, although it might be difficult, we'll see what happens St. Peter's Golden Grove. Always like to leave you with sort of a ladder. I can give you most of one, but if that one's still to play out, maybe not. So we have an inside 50. Carlotto, another attempted mark. At least he's a good... Always, if he doesn't take the mark, he's the target. We have seen a couple of times he's managed to farm it out. In this case, create the stoppage. As Chris Danzig gets up. A little bit sore. I think all the players will be today. They'll enjoy the warm showers of the new facilities here for sure. There's the lights, which are on. Not that there's a lot of lights here at Payneham.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're AFL grade, are they?
I know they do play night footy here because, of course, you know, it's a huge club.
Yes.
With the women's program, of course, if you have Div 1, you've got to have a Div 1 reserve side. Juniors is pretty massive. And they've just got this one oval. Some clubs do have the...
Oh, it actually is an issue for some clubs. When I was at Goodwood, Phil, it was a real struggle. It's a tiny oval. We couldn't train on the pitch all through the winter. The council used to cordon it off.
Is that going to be a...
And we had 7,000 people who wanted to train on it.
Exactly. I was just thinking, Goodwood, you've got that hockey oval out the back and Forestfield Hockey Club.
Yeah, weren't happy when the footballers went out there.
Yeah, but the hockey club's going to only high school.
Yes, and that might help the Goodwood Saints because they desperately need more training space.
So whilst it's not an oval big enough to play senior footy on, it's probably big enough to play some of your kids' games on.
Yes.
And to
train on.
Train on is the big one.
Yeah, so you imagine, Phil, this week, a bit of rain around and then you have, hundreds of training sessions through the week and then we'll come back here next Saturday and it's a real grind for the players.
No rest. No rest is your problem. Back in 50. Colossi, that's what I said, the ground pick up, and he did everything I said except the handball missed the target by a fair bit. Can't blame him.
Make no
Play
mistake.
On.
No, his umpire's paid a free and he's given the 25.
25, okay.
And if Alex Carlotto, he won't probably put his name in the best or the paper, but he's been very, very good today.
Yeah. No, they've worked it well. They've dominated the ruck. They've won most of the midfield. They've dominated inside 50s. And they've had 17 scoring shots. Not surprising a day like today, they'll kick 6-11.
That's what good football teams do, though, Phil, isn't it? You tip a little bit of a mini upset, but just professional, Sacred Heart. Just come here, away game, in the mud. You'd excuse them for, dropping a game. No one would begrudge them that. And they've come out and just hammered the opposition into the ground all day.
Here he is. Oh, no, that's Rankin. My apologies. And the mark finds Costanzi. I mean, their 2 losses are to teams ranked 1 and 3.
Yes.
So
they just get the job done.
Teams they're supposed to beat, they beat.
And almost could have beaten Glenunga that day as well.
Yeah.
5-point ball game could have gone either way. So, they're a red-hot premiership chance, Sacred Heart. Big intercept there. That was almost the Matty Scarlett toe poke, wasn't it?
It was. Pick up, grab inside 50, not to be. You can't assume anything's going to be taken today. We're in time on. What do we had? We had 2 goals kicked this quarter, 1 each. Yeah. And so I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of time on. We will bring you the post-game presentations when we're done. There's Sanderson. Probably needs a little bit more mud. Oh, that's a little on the crude side. on McAuliffe. Jordan Shirley, the tackler on that occasion. McAuliffe happy to take that as a reason, just to take his time. Kick to 50. Lovely pickup. 1-2 back to Sam Skeggamore. Payneham would love at least another goal here. Percentage, don't count it out as being a decider. They do get inside 50, but only as far as Noble. It still has enough strength to pick it up. His throw misses the target. Darcy Galeas did not have the best of starts, probably not his best finish, as Bauer comes in to lay the tackle. It always feels a little bit better when you come off as a winner. That's what Shock will be doing. Another smother. Gee, if I had $1 for every smother today. There's been a few. Rankin has it. Cross to Kerry. Give this man a bit of space and watch him go. This time he's directing some traffic. Oh, skedaddle someone. And it's going to be just a desperate kick into some space by the Falcons. In front of the scoreboard. It's getting, well, I can't even say it's getting a little sloppy late because it hasn't been the most highly skilled game today. We weren't expecting it. But there's a kick and there's a grab. And it should be Kakuro. And he hasn't kicked a goal today. 38 last season, 52 goals in 2022. Mentioned in 2021 he went to the country, Nachunga, which I guess is country. Still within an hour of Adelaide. Kakuro, his kick has missed. Another behind to add to the tally for Shock. If nothing else, it ensures the ball stays down this end of the field. 22 points the margin. When the siren goes, we'll have some highlights for you. And of course, Sacred Heart fans, make sure you stick around or going to plan. We'll have a song for you, sung by the victorious players. All going to plan. Just looking around the grounds at Largs Reserve, 87 points to Port District, and here, Shock taking care of business, winning by 22 points. 6 goals, 12-48 to Payneham Norwood Union, 4-2-26. That is on the Hahn Sportal scoreboard. They've got the triple treat today. Won the C's by 6 goals, the B's by 5, and the A's by 22. 23 minutes gone at Largs Reserve. Port District 16-14-110. They lead Tea Tree Gully, who've got their lead out to 23. 3 goals, 5-23. Some other scores to come. Adam Jeffries is down on the field to grab some players. Sacred Heart, their record, they'll go to 9 wins and 2 losses. Payneham Norwood Union will drop to 5-6. Here comes some highlights thanks to Dartfish. Hopefully it's not just the goals, or else I'm going to be back in about 30 seconds. The score that everybody wants to know is St. Peter's and Golden Grove, and right now at the 19-minute mark it is Golden Grove by 1 point. It's unlikely that we're still going to be here. We might be just, maybe, by the conclusion of that one. So, yeah, Golden Grove 8-11, St. Peter's 8-10. It's St. Peter's ball at the moment, as they have just headed into time. I'm not sure. Well, I assume they've got at least a few minutes left. Adam has found his winners. We've got the cameraman. We'll be going to him pretty shortly. Next week, we will be at Glenunga. First versus third. The undefeated Glenunga Rams hosting third place Port District, coming off a big win. Looks like it's going to be a big win for Glenunga there at the 20-minute mark. Thought we were finishing early. They lead by 68 points at the moment, 15-11 to 5 goals 3. Okay. And we're not too far away from presentations with Adam. Let's go down Boundary side to Adam Jeffries and the award winners.
All right, we are down warm Payneham Oval here. It's actually 5 degrees, boys, so well done. Great win for Sacred Heart today. We've got our award winners. We're going to get through this. Belgravia New Balance, best on ground, Seb Kerrish. Well done to him. Our magic moment, Neomorph mouthguard is Zach Sanderson for the one-hander in the first quarter, so he's pretty happy. And our best team man from the Moseley Bar and Kitchen is Clayton Simons. Now, Clayton, tell me, how excited are you to get a Moseley voucher?
Very. I'll probably use it tonight, I reckon. So if I can keep it in my pocket, then it'll definitely be handed over the bar.
And is it Simmons or Simons?
Simons, definitely.
That's one's for you, Phil. Now, Sando. Now, this is the man who went through puberty when he was 10 years old, and he's actually only 17 years old right now, but he's a grim defender, and the one-handed mark. Sando, tell us about it. Is that the most skillful thing you've ever done?
I reckon it is. I'm not really renowned for my marking, but yeah, it's nice to finally get one early and get a bit of confidence up for the rest of the day.
Having a great season, big fella. And our best on ground, I thought there was a lot of good players today, but this guy was able to actually find some space and hit some forward targets. That was Seb Kerrish. Mate, well done. That was a tough slog right to the end, wasn't it?
It was a tough slog. We knew Payneham were a very good team, right up there with the best of them. So we just thought we'd come out, we play our footy, and we should be all right, hopefully.
Are you going to go to the Moseley with Simo tonight?
I might hang in his back pocket all night.
No, well done to these boys. Great win, Sacred Heart. They're just a professional group. They just get the job done. We thought Payneham might have got them today, but really smashed them in scoring shots inside 50s. Well done to Sacred Heart. Enjoy the night, boys. Go in and have a warm bath. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Okay, thanks for that. Back to the highlights. Can tell you it's still Golden Grove by 1 point at the 23-minute mark. We do have a final. This is one of the surprises. Brighton have beaten Prince Alfred Old Collegians by 37 points. So I've got my ladder set up, just got to work out which of Golden Grove and St. Peter's are going to have the 4 wins, which is the 3. It's down Golden Grove's edge, and it's going to be St. Peter's ball. They've got the length of the field to go at 23.5 minutes. Some of the highlights, as we see the play here, and Sparkle's goal, that got, well, Payneham Norwood Union on the board early in the final quarter. But that was actually, if I've got it right, the last goal of the game. Oh no, there wasn't, because this is the last goal of the game. Both sides kicked one at the either end. Adam, thanks for getting back so quickly. Because
it's colder down at ground level than it is up here.
I look forward to that then.
What does the bomb say? Actually is 5, feels like 1.
Well, I've actually got my laptop keeping an eye on Spock and Golden Grover at the moment.
Got a close one.
1 point. So this is what's happened around the Adelaide Footy League this afternoon. Here, Sacred Heart by 22. Port District were leading Tea Tree Gully by close to 90. They'll win that. Glenunga were leading Broadview by 68. They'll win that. Brighton have beaten Prince Alfred. That's a
Finally
lock.
got a tip right.
That's a final. And we're just waiting on this big one between St. Peter's and Golden Grove. With 24.5 gone, it is still 1 point the difference in favour of Spock. So the games next week, Tea Tree Gully and Payneham, Sacred Heart and St. Peter's, Prince Alfred and Broadview, Golden Grove and Brighton. So Golden Grove, 2 massive relegation battles in the space of 2 weeks, as Golden Grove have taken a defensive mark that's pretty critical for them. I know it's not a mark, it's actually a ball up, my apologies. We're going to be at Glenunga for Glenunga and Port District.
That'll be a good game, Glenunga Port Districts now. With Port Districts getting the win today, Phil, they consolidate sort of third spot, don't they, Port Districts? And then with Brighton winning from 4 through to 10 is a logjam.
Oh, it's an absolute logjam. What's really opened up is the gap between third and fourth. By my reckoning,
Looks like Golden Grove have got the win by a point, Phil. If I'm correct in saying.
I'm just waiting for someone to celebrate. They have. Golden Grove have got up by 1 point. That means that Golden Grove joined Broadview out of relegation, and Spock have 10th spot at the moment. So let me just give you a quick ladder.
Yes.
Glenunga on top, 11-0. Sacred Heart 2 wins behind 9-2. A further gap to Port District at 6-4-1. Only 3 teams with a winning record in this league at the moment.
Wow.
Payneham, Norwood Union, Prince Alfred and Tea Tree Gully. That's 4th, 5th and 6th on 5 and 6. Broadview and Golden Grove at 4 and 7. So they're half a game out of relegation and a game out of the 5. Brighton are in relegation despite their upset win at 3-7-1, and Spock at 3-8, having just lost by 1 measly point, are in the cellar.
Now, there's still a long way to go, but at the end of round 18, if St. Peter's do get relegated, you go back to these games, don't you?
Yeah.
Golden Grove...
And the reverse.
Yeah, but Golden Grove have lost a lot of close games this year, so I think they were due to win one.
Yeah.
They've been very unlucky. A lot of people have asked me, what's wrong with Golden Grove? We thought they'd come and win the flag in Division 1 and they're potentially going to get relegated. They've been very, very competitive. Could easily have been in 3rd or 4th position with a couple of close results. And they're still a dangerous team for mine, Phil, Golden Grove, with the personnel that they've got at their disposal. If they make the 5, they could potentially still do some damage, get out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, although it's got to be said, based on today, Glenunga, Sacred Heart, they're running away top 2. Port District,
on their day, districts
could they have found their mojo today?
I think Port Districts can win a final or 2, no doubt. Sacred Heart, for mine, are an even better team than last year. Competition last year was pretty fierce, wasn't it? That top 4 or 5 teams. For mine, if a team outside that top 3 makes the grand final, I'd be surprised. Glenunga at Webb Oval, if they finish top, will be hard to beat in a second semi, won't they? So it's really who's going to get to the grand final against Glenunga. Sacred Heart in the box seat. Port Districts, who knows? And then, or could there be a dark horse? We saw Tea Tree Gully last year, didn't we?
Talk about dark. I mean, they 8 and 10 to make the finals.
So if a team like Tea Tree Gully can do it, then a team like Golden Grove could do it, couldn't they? They could win a couple of finals with the personnel they've got.
And it could be that 9 wins this year is going to see you play finals.
7 wins might see you
7 wins, you never know. So thank you to Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, Nearmouth Mouthguards, Hahn and Sportal, Wayfield Sports Exercise Clinic, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish Footy Stats and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Remembering Adelaide Footy League Facebook page, keep track of Between the Posts, which comes out Monday, and the Weekend Wrap, both the men's and the women's, keeping track of all the A-grade results. Adam, final thoughts before we warm up?
Final thoughts, cold day. Well done, Sacred Heart. Just professional game today. Well done to them. They've got great depth. They've got everything going for them at the moment. Good luck to them for the rest of the season.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you also to Hugo on production, our camera crew, James and Elias, our boss, John Douglas, and of course all the Filming Footy. Well, welcome back, James. Hope you've enjoyed the weather, having spent the last few weeks in WA. Simon Verheiden saying thanks for watching. In the C's, shocked by 6 goals. In the B's, shocked by 5 points. And in the big one, shocked by 22. We'll be back next week when Glenunga hosts Port District. Until then, you've been watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.